is episode 829 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Coming off a good big Steeler win, Mike. This is Victory Mondays behind us. Now it's time to focus on the Cincinnati Bengals. It's time to focus on improving to 5-1. It's time to improve on moving up more on the Buffalo Bills, who lose last night at Monday Night Football. So much to go over today, guys. So much to talk about. And again, we're just 49 hours away from kicking off the game on Thursday night. It's not 49 hours, I guess would be like 56 hours. I'm sorry. But it's any way you slice it, guys, before you know it, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. What's up, Corey? Great seeing you on the board, my man. And we got a lot of things to go over today, Mike, as we get ready for the Bengals in this short week. And then beyond the short week, we'll catch up with everything we have to do then. But right now, I think what's very important, Mike, is really focusing on the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, this is kind of the same mindset that I said that we had to do last week against the Browns. I think that should be the mindset every single game the rest of the way. And with that being said, we're going to talk a little bit today about that second half of the schedule. Does it scare you as much now as it did before the season started? We'll get into that and a whole lot more today, guys. Good morning and welcome back to the show. Again, this is episode 829 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Derpy on the board. I see Corey on the board, guys. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Steelers, man. Number one team in the North. We're two in the conference. I'm feeling good today about the Steelers and just about everything, man.
We're a tiebreaker. We're only a tiebreaker in the number 2 seed. We're technically, well, they have one more win. I'm sorry, because they are 5-1 already. Win.
Yeah, that's why.
So if we do win Thursday night and we're 5-1, it'll only be the tiebreaker separating somebody. Again, I'm not sure which way it goes. Yesterday, you kind of had me convinced it was going to go toward Indianapolis, but I don't know for sure. We'll have to look into that and see. But again, if we win, Mike, and we're sitting at 5-1 the same time Indianapolis is, we may or may not have the tiebreaker. I'm not sure on that yet. But anyway you slice it, here we are. We're just a Cincinnati win away from being at that position and this point in the season, which I think is excellent. A lot of things, Mike, we're going to talk about today. Let's see what everybody's doing on the board. I do want to say good morning to Jen as well. Good morning, Jen. Ryan, I will be doing a reaction to the Thursday night game on the network. Beforehand, that's Superman. I can't wait. Always fall apart late. It feels like we either start 4 games down and bounce back we're 4 games ahead and fall in November, December, January. And I do have some numbers today to go with that narrative as well, Corey. Thank you for the great comment this morning. Guys, let's talk about, hey, what's up, Tyrone? Great seeing you on the board, brother. Here just in time, man. Just getting ready to kick off, just getting ready for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I do want to say welcome back, my friend. Great seeing you on the terrible board. As always, Mike, let me go over. This is the standings look like right now. Of course, this is what the Buffalo Bills, they take a loss last night to the Falcons, which I didn't see coming. Mike, also, I'll get to that in a second. And the Bears over the Commanders, 25-24, which, Mike, I just, from knowing Bears fans like we do, I'm pretty sure the Bears have been waiting for this all year long after the Hail Mary play that finished them off last season by the Commanders. So I think the people in Chicago, this is their Super Bowl, if you will. But guys, we're going to get into all that, so much more. I'm going to get into the standings here in just a moment. What's up, Vegas? Always great seeing you on the terrible board, brother. And you know what, Tyrone? I don't know if there's a person alive that took Atlanta, I guess, unless you're from Atlanta and you're a Falcons fan. And maybe they didn't even take the Falcons yesterday. But we also have the results from the picks as well, which ultimately got played. The things played out due to the results of the games last night. But again, we will talk about all that shortly. I do want to say this. Mike did turn on the furnace here at the studio, and I didn't know that there was a Sahara level on the furnace, but his studio is downstairs and mine is upstairs, so all the heat rises. And I got to be honest with you, I'm melting up here, and I've lost about 6 pounds since I've sat down to do the show. How high, Mike? How high can that heat possibly be up in the studio?
the studio, it's at like 70 degrees. People are like, it's cold, it's cold. I turn it on and everyone yells at me.
I'm getting heat rash up here. I've never seen
I
anything
see
like
everyone
this.
wrapped in blankets. I'm just chilling. I'm vibing. I might like, you said this, the heat rises. It's nice and cool down here in my studio. Vanilla Thunder is living the dream down here. Everyone else, man, it's all on y'all.
It's making me feel like I have to shit. When you get too hot.
Oh, trust me, that's how I am in the summer when I work out in the heat, man. Get a little bubble gut going.
Yeah, it's giving me the bubble guts. I don't know. I've never felt anything like this. We'll make it, but geez, oh man. Tyrone, he says, we are the number 2 seed. We sure are, brother. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we could be 5-1 tied with Indianapolis this Thursday. I'm not sure, again, as I said right at the very top, I'm not sure how that tiebreaker plays out if we in both Indianapolis are sitting at 5-1. I know that both of our losses are to NFC teams, so it would go to another level, whatever that would be. We'll have to look into that later. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're back.
Mike, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, good.
We can hear you now.
On my cable. Apologize about that. Mike, let's get into the standings. Let's not waste more time. This is what it looks like after the Monday Night Football did conclude in the AFC. The Patriots take the lead in the division. The Buffalo Bills, they fall. They fall to second place. Mike, I don't know if anybody seen this coming this year. Certainly after we played New England and they didn't look like a legit team at all. But the New England Patriots, they hop over the Buffalo Bills, both sitting at 4-2, but with the tiebreaker, the Patriots are sitting at the top of the AFC East. The Dolphins at 1-5, and the Jets at 0-6, which could, guys, it could play into the trade deadline in just 3 weeks from today. We're going to get into that in a lot more today as well. In the AFC North, which would be our division, guys, the Steelers are 4-1 in first place. The Bengals sitting at 2-4 in second place, and the Ravens and Browns both at 1-5 in the basement. The AFC South, the Colts 5-1, the Jaguars 4-2, the Texans 2-3, the Titans 1-5. And finally, Mike, over in the AFC West, where we knew there was going to be a battle this year, the Chargers are 4-2, the Broncos 4-2, Chiefs 3-3, and the Raiders only at 2-4. So they do have a battle going on out west, Mike. As we do sit here and talk about this, the Steelers, they do the loss last night by the Bills shuffle things just a little bit because they were the 1 seed. Mm-hmm. So them losing New England, who we would have faced or would have played it would have played a different role in the playoff seedings, Mike. That changed. So if the playoffs were to start today, we wouldn't be playing. This is what it looks like. Number 1 seed is Indianapolis. Number 2 is Pittsburgh. Number three is the Chargers as we speak. Yeah. New England's number 4. Buffalo, number 5. Jacksonville, 6. Denver, 7. And if we would have been playing New England yesterday. Now they bumped up, Mike. They went all the way up to the number 4 seed, the division leader in the AFC West. So that would make us play the Denver Broncos once again as it was last week. So if the playoffs start today, which they don't, we have plenty of time to go. We would be hosting the Denver Broncos this week. I like that matchup. And Mike, and I'm going to explain a little bit later why it's not so crazy to think that the Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl coming this year is a possibility. Get into that in the details. And I think you might have your mind blown by this. Some people may not, but I think, again, at the end of the day, it is it's interesting. So I'll get to that here shortly. Yes, Mike Tomlin was cranky yesterday at his conference, guys. We'll get into that. Let's see what else we got here. Jen said that's crazy. Last night's wins were wild. Both games were pretty wild. We are the number 2 seed. That's right, Tortilla. My man, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Tortilla on the board. Trevor, what's up? Welcome to the show. Glad to see you on the terrible board. He says, not the sauna bubble guts. Get our man a fan. Damn right, man. Come on. It's heated. Come on. I'm melting over here.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Tortilla says Maddie has to play Flacco, which is what I got from that as well. And also Tyrone says Tallman is ready for the Bengals and Flacco. Guys, so much stuff to go over today. as we get ready for this Thursday night game. Again, a short week. The practices had started yesterday, Mike. And not only did practice start yesterday, the injured linebacker, Malik Harrison, did make his way back to practice. So we are getting closer to being a healthy team. And I think the closer we get to a healthy team as we go into those weeks against Green Bay and against Indianapolis, I think is best case scenario for us. If we could get healthy, we could get out of this week injury-free, then we have extra days to prepare for Green Bay the following week at home. But we can't overlook them. But getting healthy, Mike, I think certainly should be something on our mind. Again, we're going to be past the Clevelands and the Cincinnatis. We're heading into the Green Bays and Indianapolises. It's going to be, we're going to start getting a real. I'm just saying that we're going to start getting a look at the better teams in the league.
And we could be one of the better teams in the league, though, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not saying that we're not.
I don't think that's out of the question.
Yeah, I don't think it's. Can you hear me talking right now?
I can hear you talking. Your screen's a little froze, but I can hear you talking.
All right, so that's fine. You know what? I think that we can be a top team, certainly in the AFC. There's nothing that's showing me that we can't run with those other teams unless we go into a game with Buffalo and they beat us 45-13. Then I'm going to start to worry a little bit. But Mike, I'm starting to feel like the way this season's going, the Steelers could certainly be a team that makes a deep run. Certainly in the AFC, there's nobody that I'm seeing playing right now. And again, it's only week 6 going into week 7. I do understand that. But at the end of the day, Mike, is there anybody right now that scares you?
No, not at all. Every team has their issues right now. Some teams might actually even be playing above their level at the moment. The only team that might start to scare me is Tampa Bay. The way they are rocking and rolling, the way Baker and all them are playing. But even they have some deficiencies on their team as well. So there's no clear-cut juggernaut in the NFL. There's teams that give me worry, but not scare me. Like Tampa Bay, they give me a little bit of worry if we had to play them in the Super Bowl. Casey, they give me a little worry because they've been there, done that. You can see them. They're on the precipice of breaking out to maybe be a team that can scare you. But right now, they're just in that they worry me. But no one in the NFL scares me right now. Every team is beatable. Every team has a hole, and Pittsburgh has good a chance as anyone else. We know how to play games tight to the vest. We know how to drag guys down to our level. And the Steelers are getting better too. We're chugging right along. We're getting healthy at the right point. So no one scares me in the NFL.
And I think just the way the season's going, you're going to get one or two teams that do down the stretch. They do make that turn. They start winning a lot of football games. But at this point, a third of the way through the season, you don't see that team. The teams that I expected it to be, they're all playing certainly under their level with Buffalo, with Philadelphia, with Kansas City, with Baltimore. Those 4 teams are 4 teams that you would expect to make some noise. And again, at this tenure of the season, Mike, none of them are looking like a great team. But still, we have to figure out where do we fit, how do we get in where we fit in and be able to make this a possibility moving forward. Again, Mike, we're going to have to win good games in a row. And the Steelers, let me find if I can find the statistic. Right, where did it go? The Steelers. Okay, Pittsburgh has had a 3-game winning streak and a 3-game losing streak per season every year for the last 7 seasons, Mike. Can they avoid the big 3-game losing streak, which ultimately ends the Steelers' season a lot of times as they try to vie for playoff spots and whatever positioning? So, again, the 3-game winning streak we're on right now. We are on a streak of 3 games. If we can avoid the 3-game losing streak, I think that would be a thing that we need to happen for us as teams, again, go down the stretch. The good teams keep winning. The bad teams kind of fall off, and that's kind of where we fell the past couple seasons. If we want to prove that we're on that next level, Mike, and we're ready to be one of them, that next tier of teams, we have to find a way to avoid that 3-game losing streak, and it seems to hit us every year, again, all the way back to 2000 and in 7 years, whatever that is, 2018.
Yeah. Well, if we do hit our 3-game losing streak, but then win out after that, we get to Mark Malone's 13-4.
That's true.
So we can deal with it, but we just have to win out. I think this team can't avoid that. Like I've been saying for a few weeks now. Listen to what the guys are saying and how they're talking. Everything is about being in the moment of like what's happening now. They don't give a shit about any outside noise. They don't give a shit about who's coming down the pipe on the schedule. It's all about who's next. Who's next. They were already ready to talk about the Bengals after the Browns game. They're ready to move on. And like, okay, this game's over and done with. Let's refocus for the next week. I think this team, like we said yesterday, man, they jettisoned a lot of players last year. And you've noticed something about this team, this locker room. It feels different. The vibe, the attitude. Even after the loss to Seattle, there was no whispers about, this guy, so and so. I'm not naming names. Didn't do anything right. Oh no, so and so over here didn't do something. There was none of that. It was a lot of personal accountability of what we have to do to get better. So I think this team's going to avoid that. Will they lose games? Yes, but I don't think they're going to stack losses. I think they're going to stack wins.
You know what, everybody? I hope you're right, Mike. As far as Steeler fans, for sure. Let's jump back on the board, Mike. We do have a lot of things to get in today. I don't want to leave anybody behind on the board. Let's try to keep up with it. And I'm going to go right back here to Mark Malone. What's up, brother? Always great seeing Mark Malone on the board. Mark Malone says we just got to keep trucking on our way to 13-4. 13-4 would be great. I don't know if anybody would have. I mean, the overly optimistic would have chose a record like this, but realistically, I think a lot of people had us about 12 wins the most. So 13-4. I mean, if that's a reality, that's going to be great, especially the way things are going early. Just by the other teams in the AFC kind of falling by the wayside. I don't expect Buffalo to be down and out. I don't expect, and again, Mike, you know that I don't expect Baltimore and Kansas City to be down and out, whether they are or they're not. Sitting at 1-5, I still see a healthy Baltimore football team that can win a lot of games. And again, you have a bunch of teams that are the Miami Dolphins and New York Jets and Cleveland and Cincinnati, and games that are totally beatable. And when Baltimore gets healthy, I think they are going to win a bunch of games. But let's jump on the board, Mike, and see what's going on here. Corey Beaver says, do you guys remember when we did our divisional picks before the season started? And I said that the Baltimore was going to fall off this year because of Lamar and Henry injuries. King Henry is next. Corey, and I, you know what? I like it. I hope you say it a little bit more. It's you're manifesting it into reality, and you know what? I'll take that. Vegas says supposed to come in last in the AFC North 2 years in a row. Guys, we were supposed to lose the first 6 games according to some analysts. We were looking 0-6 in the eye, and I got to tell you that analyst, and I tell you what, that analyst certainly changed his tune. Because now he's saying that the Steelers team could make noise in the playoffs. So that just kind of gives you an idea of who's bullshitting and who's just making shit up out there. But again, Mike, he was literally saying just a month and a half ago, the Steelers was looking 0-6 in the face, and we are literally on the on the fringe of being 5-1. Mike, there's only 4 football teams in the NFL. There's only 4 that have 1 loss, and it's not Buffalo, and it's not Philadelphia. And it's not Kansas City, and it's not Baltimore. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's the Green Bay Packers. It's Tampa Bay, and it's Indianapolis Colts. Tell me this isn't one of them goofy years that an off team that's not one of the usual dominant teams could come in and win a championship. It has that feel to me. And, Mike, you comment on this, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say after you make this next comment because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen this year in February.
What's going to happen this year in February?
Okay, you ready? You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay, so as we all know, Bart Starr wins his Super Bowl when he was 27. Brett Favre won his Super Bowl over New England when he was 27. Aaron Rodgers wins his Super Bowl over Pittsburgh when he's 27. Guys, Jordan Love right now is 26, but in November, Jordan Love turns 27. Now, with that being said, Aaron Rodgers, the longtime Packer, looking to ride off into the sunset, maybe get a Ray Lewis, a Jerome Bettis send-off, if you will. Come on, guys. I got to be honest with you. This storylines alone from that particular Super Bowl makes the NFL a killing. Off the storylines alone. Again, I'm not saying they cheat. I'm not saying there's a script, but I'm just saying if there's a year for something like this to happen, this would be it, Mike, because, again, there's never going to be another opportunity for Jordan Love to be 27 years old for the Super Bowl ever again in his life. This got Pittsburgh Steelers and Green Bay Packers, 2 teams that have 1 loss at this point in the season left. I'm just saying. Next year, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you a little bit more insight on this.
Oh, we're going to next year too.
This is going into the following season. Tampa Bay is going to make a nice run this year. Everyone's going to say MVP, Baker Mayfield. They're going to fall short in the NFC Championship. They're going to fall short to Green Bay. So the Green Bay Steelers Super Bowl happens. Next year, the Chiefs, they have this fall off season this year. They shit the bed. Next year, the Chiefs jump back in because it is their era. It is their decade. It is their it's their run. So next year, Kansas City gets back in it, and they get the Tampa Bay team from this year that's supposed to the high and mighty. They come back hungry. Next year's Super Bowl is the Chiefs and Tampa rematch from the Super Bowl about 4 years ago. This year, guys, Steelers, Packers. Next year, Tampa Bay, Kansas City. Put your money on it, Mike.
Oh, right. Ryan with a little I like it. I like this line of thought. Hopefully, like said Aaron Rodgers this time can break the string of luck that Green Bay quarterbacks have at 27, because I don't know if I can handle watching my team lose 3 Super Bowls in my lifetime.
And I do want to say, Mike, I didn't have the result for the Super Bowl at this time, but that's where the Super Bowl's going.
Okay, so well, you and Mark Malone get together with the Krylon and the organic, spray for your keyboard and figure this shit out,
do not threaten me with a good time. Come on.
Because I cannot. I like I said, I can't watch my team lose 3 Super Bowls. Bad enough I had to watch them lose 2. I had to watch the Penguins lose a Stanley Cup final. I cannot handle any more heartbreak for the 2 marquee franchises of Pittsburgh. Okay, I will. I'm willing to sacrifice Derpy's left nut and right booby to get us a Super Bowl. Okay, this is what I'm willing to do.
Them boobies have gained some notoriety, Mike.
They have, man. They've got they've gone international. I can't wait for the guy from Sweden to comment.
Yes.
That's why we haven't seen him. He's like, ugh.
He's seen Nervy's titty.
Yeah.
Let's get back on the board here, guys. Tortilla says Ramsey should wear his ring against Chase. Ooh. And I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. This comment is something that I did see this morning. The Steelers' defense is built to beat Cincy. Yeah. This is what the Steelers did. Obviously going after a lot of depth this offseason, but they built this defense to beat Cincinnati. And that's a good Cincinnati that we built a defense for. So I think the luck turns in our favor, albeit maybe just a short period of time. But I'm going to say our luck changes this week, Mike, because, again, Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday night are 2-8 on the road, 0-6 in the division. They haven't won a road Thursday night football game since 2016 against the Colts. I think that changes in 56 hours or so, Mike, when the game gets started against Cincinnati. We're 5.5-point favorites in this football game. I think we win this game. I'm a lot more confident with this game than I was about Cleveland. I felt that was a trap game. This one maybe as well, but I just don't think this team is good enough to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. Like, the defense is a wet paper bag. The offensive line is even a wetter paper bag. They have 2 receivers and a 73-year-old man trying to get the ball to them. Mike, I'm just I'm feeling a lot better about this game in Ohio than I did against the last Ohio team we faced.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way too. My only concern is, Joe Flacco is 11-11 against the Steelers' lifetime. It's 50-50 shot, really, if he can win. He knows how to beat Pittsburgh, okay? But the way our defense is playing right now, the front 4, they're playing out of their minds right now. You throw little Herbig in there, the front 5 is playing out of their minds, and that Cincy O-line's terrible. They might get Flacco killed this game, unless they go max protect and just, hope they catch us slipping in the secondary. Because right now, on paper, I'm not seeing how they can beat us. Their run game is not that good right now. Our run defense is getting better every week. So,
Mike, I think if the Jets played the Bengals right now, I think the Jets win.
Yeah,
I do. I just
too.
think that they're a better football team right now. I'm not taking anything away from Higgins or Chase. I just think right now the Jets are a better football team at 0-100, whatever the hell they are, than the Cincinnati Bengals team is right now, Mike.
Yeah, and I was listening to the radio, and Merle Hodge was on one of the shows, and he was like, I'm watching this Bengals team. He's like, they're still playing like they call them plays like they think Joe Burrow is still out there.
Yeah,
Like they have
exactly.
not, they have not altered the offense one bit, and that's doing a disservice to that. Did a disservice to Jake Browning, and that's doing a disservice to potentially Joe Flacco, because you can't ask those guys to do what Joe Burrow does. There's a reason why he's an elite quarterback. You know, Joe Flacco is no longer that guy. What up, buddy? But yeah, they cannot, handle this having a backup in there. They don't know how to play. It's going to be a rough one for them, and I think we fucking dominate this game.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's going to be a good one, guys. I'm looking for the defense to tee off, and I'm looking for this defense to change and turn that page and make this Cincinnati team look like the Cleveland Browns. Probably worse. Again, at least Cleveland has a semi-decent defense. We know Cincinnati has no defense. We know Cincinnati's offensive line is garbage. So again, I'm feeling a lot more optimistic about this one than I did in last week. Let me give you some guys. Mike did say that Flacco's 11-11 against the Steelers in his career. Let me give you some more numbers from Mr. Flacco. Mr. Flacco is also 0-1, of course, as a Cincinnati Bengals coach or quarterback. He's 4-4 between the two stints that he spent in Cleveland. I'm sorry. He's 2-4 for the little bit of time he spent in Indianapolis. 1-8 for the time he spent with the Jets. 2-6 for the time he spent with Denver, and of course 96-67 with the defense that carried him for seasons and seasons over in Baltimore, guys. Again, 11-11. It's not great. It's not bad. They found a way to beat us enough. And again, with that Baltimore Ravens defense, he certainly did that. But again, guys, everywhere else ever since hasn't looked great. He did beat us last year on Thursday night. That is something to keep in the back of our mind. It was a Thursday night division game. Again, the Steelers 2-8 on the road, which we were on the road last year in the Snow Globe game. 0-6 on Thursday night against the defense, which again, that was last year. And the Steelers have not won a road Thursday night game since 2016. It was against the Colts. So again, guys, this being the perfect opportunity, to change that fortune and turn things around and prove again that this is a good football team. This team resembles a good football team. I can't even tell you how many times over the past 5 years I'm sitting there saying, God damn, if we could just run the ball, we would look like a real football team. If we could just pass the ball, we could look like a real football team. So all those things, they're starting to come together. We're running the ball well. The offensive line is gelling. The passing game is oddly successful. The defense certainly picking up the slack, and all the additions that we made in this as this Pittsburgh Steelers team looking to go 5-1. Again, guys, only 4 teams out of the 32 have just one loss now. It's not Buffalo. It's not Philly. It's not Baltimore, and surely in Kansas City, guys. Your Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the 4. People will turn to you and say, well, you know what? You haven't played anybody yet. It doesn't matter. We played who they gave us. The fact of the matter is we won the games we were supposed to win, and we fell short in one of those games. We're 5-1. We're looking to go 5-1, and after 6 games, we'll take it. We'll take 5-1 any day of the week, Mike. It doesn't really get much better than 5-1.
It does not get better than 5-0. 6-0 would have been a whole lot better, but we'll take 5-1. And I hate that. Oh, you haven't beaten anyone. Well, the same thing can be applied to Buffalo. Buffalo's the teams that they won are a combined 3-20.
Exactly.
That year Miami was rattling off all these wins. They had like the same type of strength of schedule, and then they totally collapsed. The same thing going to happen to Buffalo. Are they fraud alert for Buffalo? I'm not saying, but a lot of people are.
I think, and here's another thing about Buffalo. People talk about how weak our division is this year. Welcome to every year of the Buffalo Bills. Welcome to every year of the 2 decades of New England. If you have the Jets, the Dolphins, and Buffalo, if you were New England for 2 decades, that's a pretty weak division. And now vice versa. Of course, New England now jumping over Buffalo, but it makes it a little bit tougher. But this division hasn't been good for a long, I'm talking decades. And for people to come at us about how our division's playing, bro, we got the schedule that you gave us. We're playing. We did what we did. They did what they did. We're way out ahead. Come on, stop it.
And how often do you see the AFC North like this?
I mean, you're right.
You're like, I'm being serious. Like, ever since like Cincinnati started to get it together for it's always Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and then Cincinnati will have a decent run too. like we just did with the trivia the other day. I forgot they won back-to-back AFC North titles not too long ago. They went to the Super Bowl not too long ago. And even the Browns, yes, it's been a while, but even the Browns have had some nice little regular season runs. And even when they're bad, they're still not a bad team for like the AFC North. They're a competitive team within the division. So for anyone to laugh about us and our division, get the F out of here, because typically the AFC North is one of the top divisions in the NFL. It's always so
One of the
tight.
toughest.
These teams, one of the toughest. May not be the best, but it's the toughest. When you come out of the AFC North, you've been through battles as an AFC North champion. You've been in dogfights every fucking week. So yeah, get the F out of here with that nonsense.
Absolutely, Mike. A lot of things to go over today. Let me get into just a couple things here. We are going to get back on the board. We're going to keep up. We don't want to get too far behind. A couple nuggets of information. The Cincinnati Bengals, they will be wearing their white alternate uniforms on Thursday night whenever we go to Cincinnati to play. So we're going to see the white uniforms. Also, Mike, I'm just going to change. It's real different. It's a different fact here, but this is the results so far in the Pittsburgh Steelers Revenge Tour. Mike, of course, a lot of revenge games after bringing in a lot of people from other squads this offseason. Mike, in the first game, Aaron Rodgers beats the Jets 1-1. Second game, DK versus Seattle. Not so fortunate. We lose that one. Jabril Peppers, New England, we win that game, Mike. And, of course, Juan Thornhill against Cleveland, we win that game. So far this season, Mike, in revenge games, the Steelers are 3-1. I don't think we have anybody that came over from Cincinnati, but this is where we stand right now. Again, Mike, we brought in a lot of people this offseason, and I think we'll see some more revenge games as time goes on. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, I think there's a couple more coming up.
I think there is too.
Deshaun Elliott from Baltimore.
Yes.
And the Dolphins. So you were double dipping with Deshaun right there. So I'll take that. As long as we win these revenge games, have a winning record come out of it, we'll be sitting pretty good. Because my God, I swear Omar Khan and Weedle looked at the schedule. Who can we bring in? Let's add some more motivation to this game.
Let's grab one player from every team that we play this year.
Yeah, well, we're bound to win something. But no, man, but this team is just so focused this year, dude. I haven't seen this team locked in like this in a long time.
Neither have I. Let's jump back on the board. Tortilla says that the Seahawks scare him. Also, Vegas says, "Oh no, it looks like Derpy's been chewing the wire." Derpy has been chewing on the wires. Now he's like a wild animal ever since he exposed himself on the air. Tyrone says we could have beat them if Caleb didn't F up that kickoff. You know what though? And I kept saying this, Tyrone. It wasn't solely they won by 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? The defense wasn't exactly. You take that touchdown away, you still give up 3 touchdowns and a field goal in that particular game. I refuse to solely put it on Caleb. It was a dumb rookie mistake. And it doesn't happen often, but it did happen. And again, he was a rookie, and I can't put that loss on Caleb Johnson solely. Again, I think the defense let up. They could have done better stopping Seattle's offense. He played a part. It was the turning point. It was where the momentum shifted. But at the end of the day, I hate putting it on Caleb Johnson solely as a rookie. That was literally his second game. The guy was, he was returning kicks. I don't know if that's what he signed up for, but again, I can't put it on the kid. And you know me, I'm not a big fan of Caleb Johnson just yet.
No.
And I can't put it on him.
It wasn't all just on him. No, you go back and watch that game from beginning to end. Aaron Rodgers did not look engaged at all in that game. We watched him before in warmups. He looked like he'd rather be elsewhere. The defense was not playing up to par. So it was a total team collapse in that one.
Phil the Steel, what's up, big brothers? Phil the Steel says, yo, you Yinzers. He says, Phil the Steel and Mike and Cody are all week 6 losers. We'll get into the standings on the CBS pick'ems before you know it, guys. We do have that in the works here. I do want to say good afternoon to Trevor Jones. Trevor Jones, welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board. He says, long-term injury is my biggest fear for longevity of the season. Absolutely. And you know what? I think that the way that the Steelers, Mike, we were saying the other day, the way the Steelers built this team this year with the depth is sure looking like a stroke of genius right now. Is the teams all around the league falling to teams they shouldn't fall to because obviously injuries are big in the NFL. You go from the highest, your best player, you drop down, and the next guy is, going from Lamar Jackson is like going to Cooper Rush is like going from
that's huge.
a 10 to a 2. So, Mike, this building of this team, the way they built it from the inside out, if you will, they came in, they put a lot of depth, a lot of this inside, the guts, if you will. And if you tear away the top layer, the layer that looks good, you still have more in there with these depth players. And I think, Mike, that has Omar, Andy Weidl, and Mike Tomlin looking like geniuses again, as the Steelers are 1 of 4 sitting here with 1 loss going into week 7.
Especially like the back end depth in that secondary. We kept asking, like, why do they keep getting more guys in the secondary? Why are we getting more guys in the secondary? And it's just paying dividends back there where, we were making fun of, the 900 tight ends and all the safety guys.
And we still do.
But we were like, man, why can't we get more offensive linemen or defensive linemen? And the offensive line and defensive line have been getting better and better every week. And we've needed that depth in the secondary. And this is why they're doing what they're doing right now. They saw, like, hey, if this group up front on both sides gels, we'll be fine. Back end secondaries, passing league for the most part, you need guys back there. And the guys they got are some really good players. Like Jabril Peppers was a starter last year. He should have still been a starter up there in New England. Yeah, New England's winning, but I think they'd like to have him. I think he'd be a valuable part to their team up there. But okay, we'll take him. We'll take him in week 2. We'll snag him up. Okay, we'll make a trade for Jalen Ramsey. You can have Minka Fitzpatrick. And you're throwing us Jonnu Smith. Stroke of genius. Juan Thornhill. All right, come on, Juan Thornhill. Come over from Cleveland. We know you will improve. You'll be the Kansas City Juan Thornhill, which he has been right now. This is some really good team building right now.
I couldn't agree more, Mike. Omar Khan's really getting the job done, doing a great job at GM. I've said it since day one. I love the way he attacks the offseason, something that we don't see in Pittsburgh, the way that he's building and attacking the offseason here. You got to love that.
He's been a breath of fresh air, this new front office.
Absolutely, Mike. It's again, this is totally not typical of the way the Pittsburgh Steelers generally run their offseason. And I got to say, I'm here for this. And I mean, how can you not like Jalen Ramsey getting put on your squad? How can you not like DK Metcalf? I mean, these are things that you would have thought never would have happened as a Steelers fan. You would have said, these aren't things that happen in Pittsburgh. These are things that happen elsewhere.
And you have these personalities all coexist too. Because Jalen Ramsey, DK Metcalf, when they were playing on opposite teams, they hated each other. They were beating the shit out of each other. But Aaron Rodgers, with all of his appearances on McAfee, drawing attention to himself, none of that. There's no outside noise this year with this team. It's just these weird big personalities. But I think they all want to win, and they know, like, hey, this is probably our best chance. So let's just fucking go.
Real quick, I'm going to get back on the board, Mike. I do want to give you some injury information that I do have. The important stuff anyway. Calvin Austin the third did not practice on Monday. Of course, it was a short week. The guys were back at it yesterday. Calvin Austin the third did not practice. And then for the Bengals, Mike Gesicki is out, and also Trey Hendrickson is day-to-day. Of course, last year's sack leader, Trey Hendrickson, day-to-day. He is a back, and there's a good chance, Mike, that we're not going to see him on Thursday night. Again, it's not a very good Cincinnati team to begin with. I think we're going to see a shell of the team that's supposed to be better. Still, I think this is a game you really got to take advantage. And one more thing, Mike, about this Bengals team, I think by dropping those interceptions against Cleveland, I think this secondary comes out this week with a different mindset, and they make those plays this week. I see, again, this game being even funner than last game.
Like you know they're pissed about it. Even Tomlin called them out on, like, we missed a lot of plays, game-changing plays. Normally, like, Deshaun Elliott, dropping one or two balls this week, like that's not him. He's been a ball hawk since he's come here last year. That was surprising. I think they're going to work on that more this year. Like, it felt like Ike Taylor was coaching the DBs this week. But I think for a team that hasn't been killing it on turnovers this year, they're looking to bounce back.
All right, let's get back on the board. A lot of good comments today. I'm going to go right here to Mark Malone. He says we had Bustin Fields, Midget Wilson, PP Hands Pickett, the true Mark Malone. He must just get that crayon out and just go off on making these names. The Trubiskynator, Dead Arm Ben will finish strong this year, homies. He's calling it right now. Mark Malone on the Terrible Board is calling it. Feel the steel making a lot of sense.
PP
One game
Hands.
at a time. PP Hands, and
That
of
is
course,
got
still
me.
one game at a time, which is the best motto in any sport to begin with, especially football, because every game is the most important game of your season when you're at that game, when you're playing that particular game. So I couldn't agree more. Right now, Cincinnati is the Super Bowl. You don't think of anything, prep for anything other than the Cincinnati Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Malone says, keep trucking. Don't get distracted by the lot lizards. Mike, that's I think that's addressed to you.
I told Cinnamon and the gals to tone it down until February.
Tone it down.
Tone it down. We'll have a big celebratory party afterwards.
Guys, Tyrone also says a lot of wide receiver trade rumors today.
Yeah.
You ain't kidding. And I've liked Waddle all along in the trade rumors, but this was said by Adam Schefter yesterday. The Steelers are looking for a wide receiver before the trade deadline. Guys, we have 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from today at 4:00 p.m. The trade deadline will be up. So, Mike, we have Cincy, we have Green Bay, we have Indy, we have trade deadline. This is going to be a very interesting 3 weeks for this Pittsburgh Steelers team, especially if we could go 5-1 Thursday night going into those two big games. Again, Mike, you're not as much scared of Green Bay as you was early. Mm-hmm. You're not as scared as Indianapolis as you might have been earlier. Mike, and again, trade deadline in 3 weeks. This thing could really be getting ready to take off for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It could. Possibly, maybe after the Bengals game. Like swinging a trade. Probably after that Sunday, that slew of Sunday games would be a distinct possibility. Or maybe even after the Green Bay game. Like, hey, Green Bay, leave one of your receivers here.
Oh, they're
guys with you. You know,
they're looking to get better too. I'm not.
I know.
Chris Olave, obviously, Mike, Jacoby Myers, Waddle. These teams are terrible. They all have one win. These are more likely the teams we're going to be able to pick from, and pick one of their players. But point taken. I understand. But Mike, those three names that I mentioned right there have been names that's come out all year long as people speculated about wide receivers for the Steelers. Any other names that off the top of your head that you like? Again, Olave, Waddle, and Jacoby Myers. I think they benefit this offense greatly.
I think they would too, and they're all more or less would be able to slide right into that number 2 role.
Absolutely.
Because yes, I love AJ Brown. Yes, but we're seeing how he's acting on a team that just won a Super Bowl, and even that year when they won the Super Bowl, he was reading self-help books on the sidelines, being all cryptic in the media. And he's going to come here and be the number 2. Right. Can he coexist with, in that system? Yes, him and DK Metcalf were teammates in college. That's college. These guys are pros now. Can they coexist in that attitude, in that locker room? Like I just got done saying how all these different personalities have bought in this year. Do you want to get someone like an AJ Brown who is going to boo-boo on the sideline? There's a reason we jettisoned George Pickens because of that attitude. We didn't want that toxic atmosphere. Now, will his attitude change when he comes here? Potentially, but do you want to risk it? Now, if you can guarantee me he's going to be a good, loyal soldier, fuck yeah, go do it. Youth and a 3rd rounder for him, let's go all day.
2 years ago, if you and I were sitting here on the show talking, and I said, Mike, wouldn't it be so cool in a couple years to have DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey, and Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
You'd be like, no, I don't want that.
There's never happen.
There's going to be issues. Their personalities. They're not going to be able to get along. There's going to be, we're trying to get away from all that kind of stuff. And here we are in perfect harmony. DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey. No drama. So far, again, knock on wood at this point, this is where we're still at. But maybe, Mike, just maybe, and AJ Brown, he could again fall into what the Steelers are doing and follow the Aaron Rodgers leadership on offense and the Jalen Ramsey leadership on defense, and we could do something special. Is that a possibility?
It could be a possibility because we saw that Eagles team. the year before they won the Super Bowl, the way they collapsed down the stretch, and you thought
They
there's
did.
no way that team's coming back, and then they carried over into next year. Then they, then they started winning, and that's the key thing right there. Like I remember Jack came years ago saying this. He's like, for the Steelers of the '70s, winning built the chemistry. Once we started winning, everyone started. That's when the team started to build. And if AJ comes here and if we keep winning, I think he falls right in the line. But if we start losing and he's not getting his catches, I think he's going to start veering from that path. I don't want to chance it. It's when you have a good locker room, you hate shaking it up.
Mike, is there a chance that any of those other guys that I named, is this become a possibility for them if the Steelers lose 2-3 games in a row? Do you see any problems rising from what we have what we have on the team right now?
I could see it. I can see it. I can see Aaron getting snarky with people.
Yeah.
I can
especially the media starts attacking him.
Oh yeah,
he's been a doll.
Yeah.
There's the thing: the media in Pittsburgh has had no reason not to love him so far. What happens if Aaron Rodgers comes out, throws 3 interceptions, we lose a game, and he comes and he's snarky toward the media and the fans?
Yeah, and snarky towards a lineman or a receiver.
Right.
Jalen Ramsey and DK Metcalf, they're hot-headed players. We've seen bits it on the field of the way they're yapping to people and being aggressive, but they're keeping it in check. If you lose, like you said, man, the last 5 years, 3 in a row, something like that happens. Can they keep together? But I this year I think they can. That's the way everyone's buying in so far. And like I said, after that Seattle game was a big test for the chemistry of that team. And they didn't crack. There was no bitching about anyone. It's like, hey, we just got to get better and move forward. So I think this team would be different. I think they could handle AJ Brown, but do you want to risk it? Is the reward worth the risk? I think it is, but I don't think it's that big of a chasm to where you go ahead and do it.
All right, let's get back on the board. Jen says at 12-20-14, Mike, it sure is nice seeing those teams struggle. And I got to be honest with you, Jen, there's nothing nicer. If I could continue to watch those same 4 teams struggle the rest of the season, it would be great. Tortilla says, Dan, 0-6, talking about Orlowski saying the Steelers are facing 0-6 to start the season. Tyrone, I couldn't agree with you more where he says, fuck Dan. Fearless still says, I got Steelers going 9-8 or 8-9, but if they get to the AFC Championship game, my name is changing to loser. Let's see. Tortilla, I want Khan to go out and get Garrett. You know what? That came up yesterday. I was watching something because it's not working for him in New York. Maybe he would want to get out of there and go on a team that has a chance, Mike, who's might be looking for a receiver. But here's the one problem that I have with a lot of these receivers. They're going to come to Pittsburgh, and they're going to have to be second fiddle to DK Metcalf. Mm-hmm. A lot of these guys we're talking about, Mike, are they going to be able to do that, to come in and be second fiddle and just get edges? Is that a possibility with some of these bigger names that we're talking about? Obviously not the best receivers in the league, not top 10, but these guys certainly are pretty damn good.
Yeah, they were coming from the teams where they were the big dog. They were the number one guy. And here where you're seeing a lot of your targets are going to running backs and tight ends. Now, DK Metcalf isn't getting 8, 9, 10 catches a game. He's getting like 5 to 6 catches a game, but he's making the most out of it. Can those guys do it the most without 3 to 4 catches a game? Can they do that? That's why you maybe like someone Olave. Yeah, he like a 1A type guy down in New Orleans with him and Rashid Shaheed. So those guys would make sense. Jacoby Myers and a bad team in Oakland. He's the number one guy. He wants a new contract, but a lot of these guys are going to be rentals. And are they going to want to come here and be that number 2 guy trying to get new contracts? That's the thing too. Or are they going to buy in, or are they going to go, hey, team success better than stats? That's going to be an issue there for any of these guys. I don't think they're going to cause drama, but I think AJ Brown will be the biggest one to cause drama just because of everything that's going on with him in Philly. Garrett Wilson, real quick, and Aaron Rodgers there was no chemistry there last year between those two on the Jets.
You mentioned DK Metcalf in the last 2 games, 9 catches, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf in the last 2 games. So he needs a partner. You get somebody in there to do, get a 90 yards, maybe a touchdown every couple games. Just again to not only that, maybe have a decoy on the other side. One wide receiver that's potentially going to get a pass thrown to him. Obviously, Mike said the running backs and tight ends will get their share, but the unexciting whites, of course, they haven't been getting their targets, Mike. And again, if you have somebody opposite side, DK Metcalf, that you have to play it different. You have to prepare differently. And I think, Mike, if anything for looks, for change, for something just different for the defense to have to try to figure out in a game, I think that might be worth it in itself, because we just don't have Calvin Austin III is coming along, but come on,
the availability.
Availability is what the best ability.
Best ability.
And he just hasn't had it.
Yeah, and also like another thing towards AJ Brown that could actually work out for him, and I heard this on the radio this morning too, is he knows the system. He knows the Arthur Smith offense from his time in Tennessee. So it wouldn't be that big of an adjustment for him. So that's another thing to think about too, as to why you would doing your pros and cons list of why you would want AJ Brown. That could be one of them too. And then Garrett also signed a huge contract too. And he signed long term. That would be a nice fit between the two outside. You're not paying a quarterback for a while too. You could make it work.
Mark Malone says, I told you my trances are accurate. I know I talk a lot of BS, but my trances are highly accurate during back a quarter of the freaking century. Jen says Aaron Rodgers is 47 years old. Hey, that's not funny. You have a birthday coming up, don't you, Mike? When is
yes, I do.
Yeah, it's how
December.
You're 40.
I'll be 45 in December.
That's right.
45 years young, ladies.
Corey says, you're talking my language, Ryan. You're getting it. LOL. If we win a Super Bowl, Rodgers is retiring. If we go to the Super Bowl and lose to Green Bay, then Rodgers will run it back. I'm just saying, guys, the NFL likes these corny side storylines. I mean, they did it with Taylor Swift for how long? And again, this could be a moneymaker. You don't get a 27-year-old every year. This be the only year.
Yeah.
So if they were to continue on that path, Mike, this would be the year for it to happen, obviously, because it couldn't happen any other year. Let's see.
Well, hold on. No, go ahead. My bad.
What's up?
No, disregard what I was trying to stutter out.
I just want to hear what it was.
Well, so I was going to check it. I was checking Malik Willis's age to see like if Jordan Love being 27. They got Malik Willis there. He's coming up in age too, but he's also 26 this year. He's probably going to turn 27 this year. So,
and I don't think Malik Willis will be in the Super Bowl next year. Being quarterback. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but I just don't.
He's a good stopgap for 2 games. Then after that, he shits the bed.
It's like he's at their Mason Rudolph. Phil still says that Jen Moonball bandwagon in 2024, now Rodgers bandwagon. Hey, as long as they got us winning, I guess, and I said that, Mike. I said that. I said if he comes here, he's my quarterback. I didn't like it. I didn't want it, but now he's here and it's working. He is my quarterback. I'm here for it. Phil says I'll change my last name to Ludhuser if the Steelers win the Super Bowl. Jen says just change it to Steel Boom. Steel Boom. I like it. Also, Tortilla says Brett Favre won 35-21. He sure did. Yes, he did. Rodgers won 35-20. Love 52-13. I like the way you think, Tortilla. I love the way you think, as a matter of fact. Corey says good news is I don't think Flacco has ever beat us back to back. It's always win one, lose one, and he'll beat us. He beat us last year in Indy, so I think we could pull it off. Tyrone says double chase and put JPJ on Higgins. That's what I'm saying. This shouldn't be as difficult as it's being made out. Yes, they're really good. Yes, Chase is probably the best, but we are in position right now with our depth that we built and their lack of depth that they built to win this football game, Mike. We have we have the manpower to really D up on them, like Tyrone's saying.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really have many options. All their money's tied up in 3 players, and one of them's out until the end of December. So, I like our chances, Mike, but we can't look past Cincinnati.
We cannot look past Cincinnati, but I think this year we do have the secondary to slow them down, and we have the front 7 to cause havoc up front to not let them beat us deep this year.
Absolutely. And again, Mike,
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. They built this defense, they built this secondary
yeah,
to compete with Cincinnati. If you're a good football team in the NFL, you build your team to win your division. That's where it all
yeah,
starts. That's where it all starts. If you're not good in your division, you're not going to do anything beyond that.
yeah,
And we built this team to be able to stop Chase, and we built this team to be able to stop Higgins and Joe Burrow. And this is where we're at. And guess what? They don't have all their pieces, so I think certainly have the advantage
yeah.
here.
And the thing is too, by building the team or building the secondary to beat Cincinnati, normally that can bite you in the ass playing elsewhere. When Cincinnati's offense is built like the rest of the NFL, built like
Well,
Detroit, built like
another
Green
thing,
Bay.
what you
So
go.
now building the secondary the way we did, it gives us a better matchup against those other high flying offenses.
Listen, the Baltimore Ravens could build their team different and probably win a lot of games. The Baltimore Ravens have to keep building their team the way they are to compete with us. You have to be able to compete in your division, and that's why the Ravens are the way that they are. That's why the Browns even are the way that they are, and Cincinnati, for that matter, generally are the same style. AFC North has a style, and if you don't have that style, you're not going to fit in. And
Yeah.
It's tough football. It's different football. And it is what it is, guys. The AFC North, you have to be able to win games within your division. If you don't, you're not going to win, Mike. You can't go 1-5 in your division and expect to do great things.
Yeah, and like the teams, even outside of the division, they still have that element that when they play the AFC North teams, they can match up with them, like playing sound defense and have a competent run game to control the clock when needed.
Well, unfortunately, there are some teams.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are teams that match up very well. One of them being the New England Patriots for 20 years.
Yeah.
There wasn't a team that matched up better against our style than anybody. And we, Mike, and here's the thing. We were so bullheaded. This is what we do. We're the Steelers. We didn't really change that much. We came with the same game. We came with the same Steelers football game plan for 2 decades, and we got the same results for 2 decades.
And then the couple times that we did try to like change it up, play man on everyone when we would play zone, and they still picked us apart in man coverage at those times. So it was like at that point, it's like fuck it, might as well just do what we've been doing. We're getting the same results. But like everyone against New England, they made everyone look stupid. You would go in with the highest confidence, then you would leave New England like, what the fuck just happened to us?
And then the Jets would beat them in week 6 out of nowhere.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. Again, division opponent, man.
Chad, what was the guy with Chad Pennington would beat him or some shit.
I remember when the Steelers passed on Chad Pennington, Mel Kiper freaking the fuck out. This is why the Steelers would never win a Super Bowl again.
Well, we've been lucky with MAC quarterbacks, Mike.
But Chad Pennington was his noodle arm. He couldn't play in the North.
007 says, Vanilla Thunder Jr. Stopped in to say, hey, he is not feeling well today. Taking some time to rest and get better is what I understand, Mike.
Yeah. He slept for 36 hours. And my kid, when he is awake, he's bouncing off the walls until he goes to bed. And yesterday he was just so downtrodden, so we kept him home today, and he's gotten his strength and energy back. He's been a handful since I got home from work.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Phil the Steel says he did change his name to Steel Boom. Phil the Steel says to Jen, "You're a two dumb Yinzer lady." There you go, Steel Boom changed his name and everything. What up, Steeler Gang? My man Jamal in the house. Jamal says, "What up?" Also, guys, talking trash with the Steelers gang. Check his show out. Very good stuff. Right here on YouTube. And also, I want to talk about Corey's show. I'm going to do that here in a little bit, though, because we do have a lot of things to get to, Mike, here in 2 minutes. We are coming up on halftime. I do want to get in the results from the CBS Pick'ems. So let me get through some more messages here as we go. I'm going to scoot right up here to Corey on 12:32:37. He says, you guys see the Broncos defense held Fields to -10 net passing yards. Yes, PFF ranked that defense 100th in the league. I did see that. And I got to be honest with you. I didn't think it was going to be that bad for the Jets. I thought there was a chance. Again, you only lost 13-11, and somehow this team, Mike, manages only -10 yards. Yeah. That's a freakish number any way you slice it. Yes, Denver has good defense. Yes, the Jets are 0-5, but that's freakish. Come on.
Like Aaron Glenn might get fired by week 10.
You think?
Like that whole Jets. 4 years ago, Ryan, you and I were talking about they were a quarterback away from being a damn good team.
And they haven't got a quarterback. Well, they had 20 of them. They're elsewhere now.
Yeah.
I mean, look what Sam Darnold is doing.
And Darnold, yeah. But like that team is like you look at their roster, like you got ballers on that team, and you can't do fuck all with them. It's just comical.
They're right. It's the Jets. They sold their soul in 1969.
They did.
Joe Namath.
It's
Blame Namath.
the ownership too. The ownership is fucking clueless up there.
I blame Namath.
Me too.
Vegas says, when was the last time all of the teams in the AFC North lost 3 games in a row while the Steelers lost 0? I should know this because I go through these numbers, but I don't know when the last time was. It's a very good question, Vegas. Phil says, at Mike, at Cody, at Steel, losers going into the results.
I'm looking at the scoreboard, Phil. I'm not at the bottom, baby. I'm not at the bottom.
We're gonna.
I was closer to the tiebreaker than anyone else.
No, you weren't. Richard hit the tiebreaker.
No, amongst the losers.
Oh, okay.
I finished 9th last week.
Yeah, and you finished
Steele's trying to bring down me and Cody.
Well, you finished. Okay, well, don't listen. We'll talk about that in just a second.
I'm messing with Steele.
Vegas says Miles got a better PFF grade than damn near everyone. Guys, listen to this. Talking about the PFF grading, it's bullshit. As I've always said it was, especially here on the show, Mike. This is the way the PFF grades played out. TJ Watt, 6 pressures, 2 pass breakups, 5 tackles, 84.9.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 pressures, 2 pass breakups, 5 tackles, 84.9. Myles Garrett, Mike, 1 pressure, 2 assisted tackles, 89.8.
Yeah.
4 points better than TJ. Again, 6 pressures, 2 pass breakups, 5 tackles for TJ. Garrett, 1 pressure, 2 assisted tackles, 4 points higher than TJ. Make it make sense. I knew this was going to happen because they always lean toward Cleveland, this PFF, Mike. Always.
Yeah. It was a joke. Even like they went back and like, oh, we updated the grades. It dropped them down to like a 77.
It's bullshit.
Are you fucking like? I'm watching this nerdy dude on there. Like, well, Myles Garrett played a good game. The Steelers just game planned around him, and like you match that with smash cuts of Sayamalo, Broderick Jones beating the ever living fuck out of him. Him not knowing what's going on. The PFF for their player grades are a joke. They're an absolute joke. Early in the game, it looked like Garrett might have had something going, but the Steelers locked him up. And then you saw at the beginning of the 4th quarter, the dude quit. He was done. He was tapped at. So yeah, it's just these grades are stupid. They make no sense. And to act like he had a good game, no.
Even Highsmith. All right, so Highsmith had 2 pressures.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm talking about pressures is because PFF talks about
pressure. The pressure rate.
It's not even a statistic. And that's why I think that this PFF is bullshit. But Garrett, they got Garrett with 1 pressure. Highsmith had 2 pressures. Garrett had 2 assisted tackles. Highsmith had a half a sack. And that altogether is 4 points better than what Highsmith did. Mike, again, it makes no sense. It always goes toward Myles Garrett. Everything in the PFF always comes back to Myles Garrett.
Dude, if I canceled my subscription to PFF, but I would love to know what they graded Nick Herbig after that game. If Myles Garrett was an 89, Nick Herbig should have been a 99.
He's probably 77, the way they do it.
And then the guy was like, well, Myles Garrett, his win rate on pass rushes was high. Like, what's that game? Like, there were times when Broderick Jones would let him go, and Myles thought he had a free run, and then Sayamalo was there to pancake him. And Broderick was picking someone up. And they designed it to let Myles think he won, and then Sayamalo would kick back on the block. It's like you don't know football. You don't know what you're watching. And these grades are useless. Like, and the thing that sucks is they have some really good deep dive analytical stuff that's useful, but you don't want to trust it because you don't want to trust their grades that these guys are supposed to be knowledgeable about. And it's useless and it's pointless. It used to be a decent thing to where you can get a gauge on players. Now it's like, oh, we like this team, so we're going to favor them. We don't like this team, we're going to make them lower.
All right, there you go, guys. That ends the first half. Let's get into the CBS Pick'ems. It is now halftime. This is the way that it broke down on this week's picks, guys, as it wraps up last night with 2 Monday Night Football games. Richard is back up top. This is it's a a week by week league as the NFL. Richard, who was at the top, then fell to the bottom, back up to the top, Mike coming in the very top with a 49, nailing the tiebreaker on the head as the game of interest had finished with 49 points. The Chicago Bears in the Commanders game finished with 49 exactly. I come in second place with 48. That's why I thought I was going to win. I thought nobody was going to be closer than 48. Richard, 49. Again, at the very top. RB, Finch, and Jamal also with 10. Vegas, Corey, and Derpy with 9 wins in the CBS Pick'ems. Mike, Cody, and Phil down at the very bottom, the biggest losers, as Phil says. Mike, and this is what the results on the year look like so far to date. Here we are, a third of the way through the season. This is what it looks like. RB is at the very top, Mike. He's leading the way with 64 picks that were correct. Vegas not far behind him, 62 catching up. Richard, 60. Finch, 59. Myself, 57. Mike, you and Cody, 56. Corey and Derpy, 55. Phil catching up with 48. Jamal got in late. He has 16. So, Mike, this thing is still anybody's game at this point. We still have 2/3 of the season left. Very, very close. And like I said, even Phil, who joined late, he's back in it, Mike, and only just a few points behind the guys. So, it's good competition. Congratulations to Richard this week. He was the winner, and he nailed the tiebreaker on the head.
Yeah.
That's why you do the tiebreakers for some reason, Mike. I noticed Derpy doesn't do them. I don't know if he's overlooking it, but the tiebreaker can win or lose you.
Can't see past the boobs. The dirt pillow's getting in the way. Poor Derpy. But and looking at these scores too, no one has really, like, outside of you and Richard in week 5, that was just a bad week for everyone.
Yeah.
These scores are, you look by week, everyone's really close, really fucking close. And Richard's the first 2-time winner of a week too, as well.
So congratulations, guys. We still have a ways to go, but if you feel like you could join, if you feel like you could run with it and see where you're at, and again, it's ultimately, Mike, it's week by week. If you don't, if you can't do it every week, it's fine if you're not available. But if you want to sign up and see where you land, Mike will put the link up on the terrible board. You could hit the link. It takes 30 seconds to sign up. Costs absolutely nothing. It is the CBS Pick'em League. Yes, like CBS, like the TV channel. Hit the link, sign up, guys, make your picks. Again, get them in before Thursday night's game when the Steelers travel to Cincinnati and be eligible for this week's round of CBS Pick'ems. And as I said, guys, great job so far for everybody. To Mike hitting the tiebreaker right on the head. Come on, you can't get any better than that. He hit the tiebreaker right on the head.
It just nailed it. Nailed it.
So, good job, everybody. Good luck moving forward. Let me forward here, Mike. I'm going to go to Mark Malone. He says it ain't uncommon for an AFC North team to send 2 teams to the playoffs. Remember, we were sending 3 teams there for a while when Cincinnati was good, and then even in the early 2000s with the Browns, we beat them 3 times in a year. So yeah, for sure. Let's go, Jamal. Yes, my man, what's up? Also, 007 says the Steelers just need to let the dogs loose on Flacco, and it'll work itself out. We got to get in his shit, man, because he does know how to beat us. Zach Taylor comes out, the coach for the Bengals, and he says Flacco has a great sense of what it takes to beat the Steelers, which, again, Mike, 11-11 all time. He's had 22 games against this Pittsburgh Steelers team, and, again, Mike, there's not a lot that changes from year to year for the Steelers. The Steelers basically are what the Steelers are. Yes, there are changes. There are differences this year. But, again, Flacco's beaten us ample times, 11. So, we got to take him serious. That's why we cannot look forward.
Yeah.
We can't look past this game. Tortilla says at Vegas, dinosaurs walked the earth the last time that happened. Let's see. Rodgers, Packers, revenge. Jen is saying. Jamal says, I'm hype. Here we go. Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl. Here we go. You know what? I'm feeling better every week. Every week, Jamal. I'm feeling better every week. As long as it keeps going in the right direction. Yes, we'll lose a game here and there. Yes, we'll lose some. Yes, we'll slide. But so far, guys, it's got us feeling really good here in Pittsburgh. Vegas says Johnson didn't make one guy miss on any of his kickoff returns. And you know what? After seeing Keshawn Williams the other day, that just gives you an idea of somebody looks like that can return and think of what Caleb Johnson looks like in a guy that can't. I'm not saying he can't, but he just doesn't have that skill at the time in the NFL. So again, I can't put all the blame that Seattle loss on him. Finchy, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Finchy. He says, King of the North, Kings of the North. That's right, baby. Vegas says, my fantasy team got demolished for its first loss by a guy that had Joe Burrow at starting quarterback.
Get ready for your second loss, Vegas. You're going down this week, baby. You're going down.
Vegas says Steelers are betting favorites to win the division now, minus 180. Well, Baltimore is plus 180. Tyrone says 5-1. Here we come. And you know what? For fans, I agree 100%. I'm going to say 5-1 all week. But again, this Steelers team cannot overlook
1-0, baby.
A team in the and any NFL team, guys. You know, they stink, but again, they are NFL football players, and
dude, we're seeing it, man. And this team's getting upset that you're like, how the fuck did that happen? You know, if we can avoid that this year, while all these other supposed big dogs are falling into that trap, things are looking good for the Steelers.
For sure. Corey Beaver says if we win Thursday night, that's going to give me 2020 Packers feels. No true receiving core, but still winning a lot of football games. Rodgers not making a lot of mistakes and doing Rodgers things. He says the defense is being solid. You're right, dude. It's looked as good. It's looking as good as it has in a while. Like there's been times over the past 5 years where I turned to you and I said, they don't even look like a professional football team.
Yeah.
They can't do the little things. This team is able to look like a real football team. That's encouraging, guys, and especially again the kind of odd season it is in the NFL. I'm not rolling us out. I'm not at all. I think, a matter of fact, as I said, I think every week I'm getting a little bit more confident that we are in this thing. Yes, Jamal Waddle. He's been named as a possibility. Of course, there's a million names as possibilities, but Waddle's certainly been a name. Jalen Waddle from Miami has been a name that I've been keeping an eye on. Mark Malone says, I'm telling you, the more DBs we can acquire that haven't been tainted by Tomlin for too long, the better. What's up, Cody? Great seeing you, my man. Always great seeing Cody on the board. Cody always brings it on game day. No two ways about that. Vegas says Bengals are running a lot of max protection, trying to give their O-line help. Richard says, good morning. The Steelers defense should feast on what Joe Flacco will be serving Thursday night. Welcome, everybody. Somber says, just get it done. Been a topic for almost 3 years. You right? Please, just get it done. Just to shut me up, for crying out loud. Donald Lurie. Donald, great seeing you back, brother. Donald says Elliott did not drop an interception versus the Browns. That was Eccles. Jamal says Mike Lot Lizard. He's talking about your lot lizards.
Hell yeah, baby. Don't be hating on the lot lizards.
Vegas says Vanilla Thunder has a platinum lot lizard card with thousands of frequent rider miles already racked up.
Hell yeah, brother.
Let's see. Somber says Myers, Waddle, Olave, and that order. Brown would be first if he's available. Absolutely. And if we could get any one of those 4 names that you just named, I'll be thrilled to death. If any of those guys are Steelers within the next month, again, 3 weeks from today, 4:00 p.m. is the trade deadline. Keep that in mind, guys. Mike seems to think maybe after this game, those other players may become available, Mike, because all those teams that we just named have 1 win at this time. If you're talking about Miami, if you're talking about New Orleans, and if you're talking about the Raiders, they are all 1-win teams. Of course, Philadelphia not, but they have their issues. Everybody knows what's going on there. Somber says if he threw 3 picks, I'm sure he'd take responsibility. I think he's talking about Aaron Rodgers. Tyrone says he wants Myers. Somber says no shot. The whole reason for Fields is Wilson. Tyrone says Wilson hurt next few weeks as well. Tortilla says they're 0-6 and had a negative 10 net passing yard is certainly possible, but it's going to be expensive. Somber says that's what GP is doing. I don't see why not. Tortilla says plus Fields has been ass. Somber says number 2 on a new team on a contract year and he's balling.
Yeah, hell yeah, he is.
Jamal says let's trade for George Pickens.
I like the way Jamal's thinking.
I do too at this point.
I
Shit.
saw someone
just,
who was like on Twitter. They're like, the headline: Steelers looking for a receiver, and it had the picture of George Pickens in the stats. Like, how about this guy?
Yeah. Cody says the way this team talks about each other, the way the team hypes each other up, they ain't gonna lose if it continues. Tyrone says, I agree. Best locker room we had in a minute. Cody says that's where'd Cody go? Cody says that's the good thing with Rodgers. Like Ben, the more pissed he gets, the better he will be. Because he kind of like holds it against himself. He holds himself, is responsible. So he plays better. It seems like. Remember 007 says, remember OT that long ago? We were trying to get Brandon. Dude. Yes. How can I forget the Brandon Ayuk? And got to think, guys, that was before last year. And we still haven't officially had a number 2 receiver. I mean, they'll continue to call some of these guys number 2 receivers, but I mean, come on, in the real world, they're not number
Every
2
receiver we potentially looked at got hurt that year too.
Yeah, you're right. Cody says, can we have a moment to just talk about how pretty the touchdown pass to Metcalf was? I watched it 4 or 5 times in a row last night. Perfect spiral, right in the bucket. That shit was beautiful. And you know what else, Cody? How many times that pass down the right sideline where Metcalf kind of went under and caught, and then that pass that was down the left sideline where he kind of caught over the defender's head as he was going out of bounds. Metcalf is beastie as hell. Listen, George Pickens makes his catches really amazing, but I will put those 3 passes and catches from Aaron Rodgers to DK up against anybody, because for those 3 plays to be made, especially the one over the shoulder on the left sideline, the one down under on the right, and then the touchdown. Beautiful, beautiful, Mike. He could have dropped any one of those passes. The touchdown obviously being the easiest one. But come on, this guy is not a top 10 receiver in the league. It's fucking crazy to even make that argument.
He's been beastly. Aaron Rodgers been beastly, but that one down the sidelines when the DB was there stride for stride with him, there's no other place Rodgers could have put that ball. That's like if you're watching 3 guys do everything right, and luckily it came out on our side. That one, like the catch, the throw, the catch. The placement of the ball on that throw down the sidelines was insane, because there's nowhere else he could have put that ball. Otherwise, it's hitting off the defender, or the guy could have scooped it up with one hand out of DK. This connection that DK and Aaron Rodgers have is insane. I love it.
It's so far so good. Again, guys, if it continues to improve at a third of the way through the season, things are going to look really nice for us heading down the stretch, getting into January. And I'm thinking we should be expecting to win in January this year, guys, if it continues in that direction. Mark Malone says Thursday will be the game to pound the Big Johnson into their behinds. I read the message before, Mike. I read the message before I seen the name, and I knew who it was before I
exactly. Me too. I did the same thing when I was scrolling ahead. I was like, oh my god, that's got to be Mark Malone. But he's right. This is the game. We're coming off a short week. They slowly worked him into the game plan last week. Gave him a couple carries. Short week, man. Guys who didn't play a whole lot last week should be getting some more playing time this week.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. Tyrone says facts. Cody, that was a nice throw on point to DK. Cody says nothing more satisfying than watching a perfect pass. Somber says, Tyrone, remember when you said Chase Brown is better than Jaylen Warren? Trevor says we shut down Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. I believe we can shut down Chase and Higgins. Just got to get after old Joe. Yeah, and here's another thing, Mike. People are talking about us on a short week. What about them preparing on a short week? It's not exactly like they have a lot of good things going for them.
Yeah.
Again, I think the short week hurts them more than it would hurt us.
Yeah. And, we played a physical game against the Browns, but like I was talking to you when we were watching the game in studio, it's a different type of physical when you're the one laying the lumber to guys. Your body seems to react better when you're doing the hit and then taking the hits. So I have a feeling like it's not going to affect us that much, that even though it was a physical game, we were like dealing out the punishment. And we have travel, but it's not that bad travel from Pittsburgh to Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's just, they got offensive line problems. I have a feeling our D-line is going to fucking manhandle them, especially the way Harmon was playing last week. I don't know if anyone saw some of the video, but Derek Harmon just grabbing Joel Petonio, who at one point was one of the better guards in the league, and throwing him around like a rag doll. The dude is a beast.
Yeah.
Oh, his film's fun to watch if you can find it. He's a beast. I love it.
Sure is good. Tyrone, he says he never said that to Somber. Somber said he's going to clip it and send it to him. Tyrone, I think I think I said something like they both good, but never better. So they got that going on the board. Let's see. Tortilla says, guys, it was 14 years between Brett Favre's Super Bowl and Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl, and it's 14 years between Aaron Rodgers and this Super Bowl. Interesting. This is spooky.
I don't like this. Is sounding like it's going to match up for a Jordan Love Super Bowl. I don't like this.
You know what? I'll take the Jordan Love Super Bowl. I don't want the Jordan Love win, and that's obviously the way that it would be heading if this would continue on that path. Cody says we aren't going to have to shut down Chase and Higgins anymore. Then the Bengals O-line is going to shut down our D-line. Tyrone says, yeah, D-line going to eat, I think, another big Herbig game. I think as long as you got outside linebackers in at the same time, you're always going to be able to recast Highsmith, Watt, and Hurd. I love having all three of those guys in there, Mike, at the same time.
So do I. Also, and the way they're moving guys around, Herbig was rushing up the middle. He was rushing off the edge. With his explosiveness, man, he was just shooting the gaps against Cincinnati when they line him up in the middle. I want to see more of that. Those three out there. Sorry, Peyton Wilson. You're going to have to take a back seat, and I think that's better for the defense in the long run. You know, that's no knock against Peyton Wilson. Yeah. It's no knock on Peyton Wilson. This Herbig is showing he can be deployed anywhere along along any of the linebacking positions. I think you can plug him in next to Patrick Queen if you had to for a couple games if it would ever get down to that situation.
I mean, Peyton Wilson is all over the place. I like the way he makes his way to the ball, his pursuit, and he's on the inside anyway, so I don't think there's any issues there.
Yeah.
Let's jump back on the board. Tyrone says, I'm sorry, Cody. Aaron Rodgers' throw action is so crazy. He throws his arm so fast, but it has the perfect touch on the ball. And that's why, he's just one of the best ever when it comes down to it. You hate to admit it, but there he is. And
he's always had that touch with him.
He always did. He could throw the freaking football.
Mm-hmm.
Tortilla says Favre won Super Bowl 31. He sure did. Rodgers won Super Bowl 45. He sure did. And this year is Super Bowl 59. So, guys, something to kind of keep your eye on.
We need Corey here to get the Giamatra out.
We do need the Giamatra. Cody says, although he way under threw DK on that one deep pass, but made up for the next play. Absolutely.
Yeah. Shit happens.
Exactly. He's not perfect.
No.
He's a really good quarterback. He's not perfect. Let's see, Tyrone. I know I was so mad, but trust. Let's this here. Can you hear me, Mike?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
Okay. All right, good. All right, let's move on. My board's giving me a little bit of an issue.
Your board's bumping around on you.
Updates itself, Mike. I'm going to jump on a few things here. Is what the schedule looks like this week. Of course, you're wondering what's going on with the Ravens are off. So with that being said, Mike, we have a chance to go up that whole game. We have a chance to make up a whole game on the Ravens. This is also schedule looks like for the week. Of course, the Steelers play at Cincinnati on Thursday night. The Rams play they play Jacksonville Sunday morning overseas, 9:30 game, 1 o'clock game. Eagles at the Vikings, the Patriots at the Titans, the Panthers at the Jets, Dolphins at the Browns. This is the game that Cleveland wins, Mike. I think that defense could definitely beat do enough to beat Miami? You think they win this football game?
Um, Possibly, but I'm not 100% sold.
Right. I'm just saying, I think this is a game they could win. I don't know if Cleveland does win it,
Eh,
but again, Mike, that defense is
yeah,
certainly good enough to win this football team a couple games this
yeah.
year. And Miami might be a team that could
In
fall
the
to that.
way, in the way it sounds like Miami is totally collapsing. You got Tua calling guys out about missing players only meetings and shit like that, and the coach going, "Hey, every player has been here for everything that I've ever asked. That's a Tua problem." Like things are not looking good in Miami. So it could be for Cleveland. It could be their one win of the year.
Hey, you know what? They have the one win. I think, Mike. I think that defense is good enough to get them another win or two throughout the season. We will see. Uh, Beyond that, Mike, the Saints at Chicago's at 1:00. Vegas at Kansas City, 1:00. The 4:05 games. Indianapolis at the Chargers. This is going to be a pretty big game this weekend. The Giants at the Broncos. The 4:25 games. Green Bay at Arizona. Washington at Dallas. 8:20 Sunday night game, Mike, is Atlanta at San Francisco. And then again, 2 Monday night football games next week. Tampa Bay at Detroit, which should be a really good game. And finally, Houston at Seattle should be a decent game, Mike. So that is what the schedule looks like this week. And again, no Ravens. So we have a chance to move up between the two bye weeks, between both our bye weeks, to create a game. At least if they lose this bye week, if you win this bye week, they lose this bye week. And again, that just gives us a 5-1 while they're 1-5.
I'll take it too, man. Anything to just create more and more distance between us and the rest of the division, we need to do is take care of business right here. Because right now, the big threat right now, record wise, is Cincinnati. You know, we got to get a win over Cincinnati to improve our, a division record too, man. It just beat the asses, man. So like this is how you're gonna be taken seriously. You have to beat this lowly Cincinnati team. You have to. You can't fall to them like we've seen Buffalo fall to like inferior opponents this year. Can't do it.
Is that fair though? Because Philadelphia fell to the Giants, Buffalo fell to a couple teams they shouldn't have lost to. Kind of going back to, I don't think it's going to define their season, Mike, because they lost to an inferior opponent. But again, I think that it just shows that they're human, and I think it shows teams like Pittsburgh that hey, you got a chance to beat these guys. You literally beat New England a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Those teams like us, I think, Mike, that there's a little bit of hope.
There is hope, but we just got to take care of business. We can't fall into the same trap that we have been for years, while other teams are starting to fall into that trap. This is the year we got to do what the other teams will do: beat these opponents, set ourselves up. And I think this team is built this year to not fall for these quote unquote trap games.
All right. Tortilla says if Favre won at age 27 and Love is 27, they win one every 14 years. 2 times 7 is 14. Tortillas went down the rabbit hole, Mike.
I
Tyrone?
think, I wonder if Corey Beavers kidnapped Tortilla and brainwashed him.
Tyrone said TJ did have the half sack. Yes, that's right. Let's move up a little back. Miles is shaving, Mike. His PFF grade is locked in for life. Whose back is Miles shaving?
Chris Collinsworth.
Let's. I wouldn't put that vision on anybody, to be honest with you. Yeah. Tyrone also says after watching the All-22 Jones, the best game as we thought, to be honest, wasn't terrible, but I agree. I've seen that as well. But it was, again, not only Myles Garrett, but nobody got to our quarterback. And that's definitely a step in the right direction. And it's got to say a little bit about Broderick Jones moving in the right direction. Again, early on, I didn't know if he had it in him, Mike. I didn't know, certainly in the preseason. Coming into the first few games of the season, I just didn't know if Broderick Jones was going to have it. I thought a game like Cleveland is going to expose us. He's going to get killed. Myles Garrett's going to just kill us. You know what? None of that happened. So again, that's encouraging for the offensive line, especially for the big left tackle.
Yeah, and he did what the team asked him to do. So I'm happy with his performance.
Yeah, so far so good. So far,
Yeah,
it could be worse. Tortilla says PFF is probably funded by the NFL, and the NFL loves Myles Garrett. They couldn't do more. They couldn't do more for a guy who hasn't done anything. I guess. I mean, he's on the. I don't know. You know what? I'm done with Myles Garrett. Let's move forward. Mike does have the link up there. Join if you do want to get in on the picks, guys. Also, Cody says how the Bills going to lose to Atlanta. Atlanta lost to the Panthers, 30-0. This is what I'm saying. This gives teams like us a hope. Mike, I mean, look at that. Look at what Cody just says. Read that if you will.
exactly.
The Bills going to lose. Bills lost to Atlanta. Atlanta lost to the Panthers, 30-0.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
This year, man, it's all over the place right now.
Vegas is like KG said, anything is possible. Jen says, why is there only one like? Come on, hit that like button. Thanks, Jen. We appreciate that. Also, Tyrone says, I'm ready for Thursday. Man, me too. I'm ready. I am so ready for Thursday. And then we get a little bit of extra time off, which I think is good. Again, Malik Harrison coming back to practice yesterday. Still no word on Calvin Austin. Mike, I don't think that we're going to see him Thursday unless they come out sometime between now and then and say something. But we're generally healthy. If we could get through this game healthy with the win, again, I like that. We're going to go into a couple tough games, games that are supposed to be tough. Being fully healthy, I think that's come on. Teams would love to be in that situation. We were one of those teams for quite a few seasons in a row. We'll take a little bit of this good luck, Mike, moving forward.
We need it, man. We deserve it. For how long have we been the team that's been plagued with injuries?
Absolutely. Mark Malone says we'll likely acquire another Mike Williams type soon, and that's something that was actually said in an article. I thought, you got to be kidding me. He's like, don't look for anybody better than Mike Williams. And I'm not taking anything away from Mike Williams, just the lack of going to him. I mean, come on. He came here first game, Mike. He won the game over Washington, game-winning touchdown to basically not even seeing the field after a couple of weeks. So I don't know what went down there.
Who knows?
Trevor says Rashid Shaheed. Yes, absolutely. He's certainly a name that I'm seeing pop up as well, Trevor. Jen saying no way. Please, no more Mike Williams. Jamal says, I love the lot lizards. I'm not hating. Don't tell my wife that, though, is what he said. Let's see what else. Right here. All right, Mark Malone says Mike is a connoisseur of the lot lizards.
Hell yeah, brother.
Slowly work the Johnson in. That's what he says. Tyrone says, yeah, he did. We got to shut that down. Corey says, if we beat Green Bay in the next game, they beat us. If we beat Green Bay in the next game, they beat us. If we play them in the Super Bowl, if they beat us, then we beat them in the Super Bowl. And again, if it is another one of those kind of seasons, let me say, Mike, if this ends up being the way that it is, the fact that we did play each other early in the season is going to play into the storyline even more. They're going to have something to go off of and go back and talk about that game. And so again, I'm not saying that the league is scripted, but I'm just saying Jordan Love only turns 27 one time, Mike. He will only be this can only happen right now for this that situation to play out. If it doesn't happen, then throw everything I said earlier out the window. But again, I think it's possible. Corey says this. He says, but I think they're trying to make the Green Bay look more human and go into the Super Bowl as an underdog, much like they did going into Super Bowl 43 when they beat us. And I'm sure they were the underdog when Favre won his. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember the 90s. Who was the favorite on that one? Mark Malone says you guys are roboting again on my end. We apologize about that. We really do, Mark. The computer issues are slowly but surely getting fixed, and I got to apologize, but I can promise you things will get better. Tyrone says I want to keep Joey Porter Jr. to strap T. Higgins with them BS pass interference calls. Last year I said he did twice. He did twice, called 6 times. Not this time. Tortilla says Rogers Goodell trying to shut us down. Cody says at Jamal, all running backs gave us a problem last year. It's another year, brother. Like the way the defense is heading. Absolutely. It's certainly, even from the beginning of the year, Cody, remember early on, it didn't seem like we were going to be able to stop anybody. The first game of the year, Breece Hall was just running all over us. And then even in the Seattle game, that running back was running all over us. It didn't seem like we were going to be able to bring it together. And here we are. And this is where we all hoped. Everybody that's on this terrible board, this is what we hoped for. This is what we talked about. It's coming to fruition. So keep doing whatever you're doing, wherever you're sitting on Steeler games. Make sure you sit in that same exact spot because it's obviously working. Mike, he goes into a whole nother room. I'll go into a whole nother room sometimes when we're watching the game at the studio. And you know what? That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Wherever you do the best, that's where you got to be, right, Mike?
Exactly. It works, man. It's superstitious, but it works.
That's right. Tyrone says, I think this bad defense Bengals have beat A-Rod game incoming. Big A-Rod game. I think maybe that's where that's going. I hope so. I hope so, guys. You know, we might be able to score 40 points possibly versus this team. I think that would be something, Mike. I come on. I mean, if we could go to Cincinnati and put up a bunch of points. I mean, come on. We put up 23 against a good Cleveland defense.
Dude, I'd be happy with 30.
Absolutely.
I'd take 30. Yeah.
I'd take 30 in a second. Corey says that explains why Collinsworth and Son nut themselves when they talk about Myles Garrett. Oh, my God. He's so good in the hole is what they say. P, my man, what's up, P? All the way from Japan, Mike. P, one of the OGs on the show on the terrible board. As a matter of fact, P says, "Well, no teams are particularly good in the NFL so far, so anything is possible." Baker Mayfield Super Bowl or Tomlin second with the Steelers. Again, I'm saying that Baker Mayfield goes into next year. He wins the MVP, but the team falls short to the Packers, who have to win because of the storyline. And then Tampa Bay comes back next year hungry. They get to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs come back. They're back from the dead. It's their time. They win the rematch to get another Super Bowl win, but this time over Tampa Bay instead of Tom Brady's Tampa Bay beating Kansas City. It's all playing into the mystic football gods, Mike. I think that this is the way that's going to play out. I hope this is the way it's going to play out. But we certainly have to find a way to beat Green Bay in February if that does happen. Yeah. But we'll get a look at them. We'll get a look at them real soon, Mike. And if that be the case, it'd be great. I'll take Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl any day.
Me too. Like I said, I can't handle a loss, though. I cannot handle another Super Bowl loss.
I know, not at this point in my life. When I was younger, I could have taken losses.
Yeah, if we lose, I'm throwing Derpy off the roof of the studio.
What's up, Echelon Motion Pictures? Always great seeing you on the terrible board, as always. He says, I really hope I'm wrong because we are on a great path, but I have a feeling that we lose Sunday, but come back and shock the world against the Packers. Pittsburgh, please beat the Bengals. You know what? It's not out of the question. And again, historically, Echelon, we have Thursday Night Football under Mike Tomlin, 2-8 on the road, 0-6 against the division. And we haven't won a road Thursday night game since 2016. That's 9 years ago, and that was against the Colts guys. So you know what? The history is not in our favor. But Mike, I don't know. Does that frighten you a little bit? What he's saying? Because again, it's looking dire for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But these numbers, they mean something. I don't know why. I don't know where.
Yeah. We were having the same conversation about the Browns, 20 years losing in 20 games in a row, lost in Pittsburgh or something.
Mike, I would have never thought that it would have went a 22nd time in a row. That's why I thought that Cleveland could win this game. It just, some things just happen the way they do. Yeah. And that's maybe what motion pictures are saying.
Yeah. And it would suck if we lost, but it fits in, there's certain days, like you see this in sports too, like certain goalies in hockey on a 1:00 Saturday game suck. Every other game they're fucking phenomenal. Yeah. These things happen to athletes and players and teams, and it just does. And it feels like Thursday nights away from Pittsburgh are worse for us. And like Thursday nights at home, I think we're a whole hell of a lot better than what we are. So yeah, it could just be that.
Like, is this team different?
It feels different.
Can this team? It does feel different.
It does.
And I just don't remember because we haven't had a really good season for a while. So I don't know if it feels different just because we're not bad like we've been the past 5 years, or this is just what it feels like to have a decent football team.
I think you got some real locker room leaders that we haven't had since, we had people like Hines Ward, Joey Porter, guys that would hold each other accountable outside of the coaches holding people accountable. In sports, it's the locker room polices itself. And now you got guys that are probably holding more and more people accountable. And, I think this team is different.
Cody says, have you guys looked at the Bills' schedule? The NFL trying to get them to the Super Bowl. They play the easiest teams. Their whole schedule is soft. I know. I thought a first place schedule, you're supposed to get all good teams. But I didn't see it. I believe you 100%, but I have never looked through the schedule entirely. But you know what? It doesn't surprise me. Cody also says so far they beat the Ravens, they beat the Dolphins, Saints, Jets, lost to the Patriots in a fight. That's not impressive.
Yeah, they got the Panthers coming up next, who are no joke. Then after that,
who are you going to?
Then after
who are you taking that game?
Exactly, and then after that, you got the resurgent Chiefs. And there's one team that the Bills have been struggling against recently. It's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Absolutely. Let's go right here. All right, we're gonna go right there. Could it really just be Derek Harmon to fix the whole run defense?
It could have been.
I know.
Well, one stout guy up front, and everyone else falls into place where they should be on the line.
Tyrone says, we good. Cody, fuck the Bills. Tyrone also says, y'all think we can hold Chase under 100? I do. Listen, like I said, I mean, this defense is literally built to beat and play teams that have offenses like the Cincinnati Chiefs or Cincinnati Bengals generally have. So I think the team not being as good as they could be, as they should be, defense being bad, offensive line being worse, can Joe Flacco do some things? Yes, he's a veteran. He's been there. He's done that. He's won his Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, it's not going to be a cakewalk for the most part, but I think, Mike, if you go in, you put pressure on him, you get to him. You can't just put pressure on Flacco. He's the kind of guy you're going to have to hit every once in a while, Mike, because he is a veteran. He can take pressure. He can still make plays down the field. So hitting him, I think, is important. But again, I do think we can keep him under 100, especially because we have the personnel. I can't remember if it was you or whoever said it earlier on the board, double up on Chase and then put JPJ on. So I think this is going to be good, guys. Again, going into last week, skeptical. That defense was really good. It was supposed to be really good for Cleveland. I don't have that feeling this week, Mike. I truly feel, even with all these numbers in the history of Thursday Night Football, I really feel comfortable and confident with this game. Again, just a little over 2 days from right now.
Yeah, me too. I'm feeling more confident in this game than I have in the past couple games. And my preliminary picks, I picked the Steelers to win. And that might be a bad sign for the team.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, what are you doing picking the Steelers?
I said preliminary. Yeah, I still have time to change it.
All right. Vegas says Aaron has to go out like Elway with back-to-back Lombardis. That'd be great. Any of these guys. I mean, come on. You've seen it happen with Ray Lewis, Jerome Bettis, John Elway. I think even Peyton Manning went on his last hurrah.
Yeah. He did nothing in the group project and still got an A.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take it.
Right? A win is a win. They don't ask how.
Win is
how
a
many.
win.
They don't ask how you got it.
And the Lombardi's coming back to Pittsburgh. I don't care how it gets done. Let's see. Cody says, I think Flacco is going to get injured. And Jake Browning didn't Jake Browning just get cut?
What, for the Bengals?
Is that a rumor?
I think that's a rumor.
Not. I don't know. Look,
that's a rumor.
Okay. I thought I saw, maybe I even dreamt it. I don't know.
You need to stop smoking blunts with Jamal.
No, I'm not stopping. But again, so let's see. He says Flacco's going to get injured and Jake Browning going to come in, get sacked 20 times and throw 4 interceptions and 1 forced fumble. I'll take it. We will certainly take that. Still says this. Phil says, let's not forget if the Steelers F up the season, remember to blame Watt. You know what, man? He's doing good. I can't say anything bad about Watt right now. I would have liked to seen them 2 offside calls not get called, but maybe they will fix that issue and get him a smaller helmet like like Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers.
if he pulls out the stat lines he had in the last 5 games last year,
Yeah,
then I'll blame him.
that's it. Phil Wilson says, Cody, damn, you must believe the Tooth Fairy exists. Tyrone says, Ravens just released C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
They just signed him last week.
Yeah, you're right. Vegas says the NFL's system for scheduling is what it is like. What it is, it's not like college where teams can schedule for. Right. That's the thing. You get it's very simple. You get the team that finishes in the same position that you finish in your division in the other division, the other conference games. For example, as of right now, we would win the AFC North. That would mean next year's schedule would include the Colts. It would include who's in first place in the the Colts, the Patriots now,
Yeah.
and then whoever's in first place in the AFC South. We would get the AFC South next year, the AFC South, and we would get the first place teams from the AFC East and the AFC West. And then we also get Mike, next year will be the NFC South. So we're getting the Tampa Bay division next year, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Carolina. And then also our oddball NFC game goes to the NFC East. So we'll get whatever team finishes at the same place that we finish in from that division. So it's all easy to figure out. When the season's over, it's very easy to figure out what the following schedule is just by taking a look at it. It doesn't change. It goes by what you finish at. Let's see. The Tooth Fairy is not real, Cody's saying. Mike, do you believe that?
That's false. That's false.
P says, whistle on the play. Panthers are still a joke. But these Panthers, where are they getting these wins, Mike? 30-0?
Right? Like, they're a very schizophrenic team. That 1 week they look like the drizzling shits. The other, they look like a competent NFL franchise. I don't get it.
Yeah. Vegas says weird fairy tales always have some strength. Weird fairy tales always have some stranger in our home when we're sleeping. Cody says, "What's next, Santa Claus?"
You mean to tell me Santa Claus isn't real?
That's not what I'm saying. That's what Cody's saying.
Cody just made the list.
Mark Malone says, "I'm a little paranoid about Flacco." Vegas says, "So is Tomlin." Cody says Jamal needs to stop smoking blunts with Jamal. Jamal needs to stop smoking blunts with Jamal. Where's Big John Stud middle name Mud at? He always got some good stories with the Terry Bongshaw. And yeah, I got to get these two guys together. Where'd we go? Where are we at here? My screen, it moved on me. I'm trying to find where we're at.
We're at P. Morton.
A little paranoid about okay. P. Morton says, well, Rodgers may not be washed, but is definitely soaking. Yeah.
He's not.
I'm not looking for long-term plans with the Rodgers. No. What?
Mormons, they have this thing called soaking. It's where the dude lays on the bed, the chick mounts him, and their friends push the bed, and they call it soaking. So technically, they're not having sex.
Is that a real thing?
It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Is this some kind of?
It's what they do at BYU.
Corey says Zach Taylor has 0 Thursday night wins. By the way, Aaron is 2-2 against Cincinnati and a 13-6 record on Thursday night football. Flacco is 8-5 on Thursday night. Just more stats to keep an eye on. Thanks, man. Great. Yes, love the stats. Love the number. We are, Mike. We're probably catching up on ourselves on the board. Tyrone, let's see. Crazy Rod, tough. Vegas says we know who we minus 3 games for many years. There they go. They're popping up now. All right, here we go. Cody says, how did the Bills play the Saints? Then makes no sense because they either play that division or that's the oddball team. So listen, all right, so last year, so they get the first place team from our division, the first place team from all the divisions in the AFC, plus they get a division AFC. So just depending on which year it is, that's how it plays out. Plus you get a certain division from the NFC, which goes in order every year, and then the one oddball NFC team, since they added the 17th game, that goes every year. That changes every year as well. So it all plays out. If you're a first place team, you have a first place schedule, goes the whole way down. Cleveland would play the fourth place team in every division, plus the division games from each conference. So it plays out. It really does. I'm thinking Buffalo, if they play New Orleans, if they don't play that division, then that might be their oddball game from that, which is the 17th game had created. I don't know if I'm doing any justification on it, but again, if you look at it, it all makes sense, and it all literally just goes in order every year. It just goes right down to the next division.
I got candles back there, baby. Go play.
Let's go right here. Vanilla Thunder is Santa Claus. Yes, Claus, because Vanilla is full of shit. Let's see. Tyrone, the defense got a lock in this game for real. Vegas says the Santa Claus movie with The Rock was actually pretty good. Mark Malone, do they drink polygamy porter while they do it, Mike?
Probably.
Cody's on the list. Tortilla says, if Santa isn't real, then what the fuck is Mariah Carey going on about? Yeah, can't we shut her up? She's starting already. I seen they were just warming her up. They're defrosting her, getting ready for Christmas time. Jamal says, I'm about to roll up with Jamal as we speak. Mini Mike sneaking up on us. Tortilla's saying, I knew Jamal was on the pot. Cody says, Tyrone, like that monkey on Toy Story.
Yeah, that's what my kid is like, man. He just be creeping out of nowhere.
P says this. He says Flacco moves exactly as well as a 42-year-old quarterback should. Making reads is hard if the Tylenol 3 hasn't kicked in for your stiff neck. Cody says, "How is he not going to be on the list?"
You're right, Cody. Good call. So, Cody, you're double on the list for calling me out for not putting people on the list. And Steele, you're on the list for saying I'm full of shit. Even though I am full of shit, you still going to call me out on it.
Mark Malone says, speaking of the two dumb Yinzers, what was the best? What was the bet where you guys had to ship me? What was that? We had to ship him the beer.
It had to do with something with Magnum.
If Magnum, if he hit the 3,500 yards or 45 or whatever it was that Mark said, then we had to ship him the beer and Derpy. That was the deal.
That was the deal, I believe.
Let's see. Jamal says, I'm listening because I'm at work. And then Vegas says, don't take Tylenol. You may get autism. A couple of things I want to get into, Mike, before we do get ready to start to wrap it up, because we do have the trivia still today. A couple topics real quick. I want to touch on this one. Mike Tomlin criticizes Andrew Berry for the shocking Joe Flacco trade. Mike, he, of course, what's he say? He ends out saying something along the lines of Adam Berry for Cleveland must be smarter than myself. I've never seen a team trade a quality quarterback. Is what Mike Tomlin said yesterday at the press conference. He later went on by the media questions. Mike, anything that you took away from the Mike Tomlin press conference that is related or any significance to add to this?
That whole Tomlin thing, man, the Browns media is eating it up, and they are on Tomlin's side. They're just like, it was like not an anti. They're like, this makes sense. Why would you do something like this? And like the Pittsburgh media, they even after Tomlin said, y'all annoying me, they're like, this was fun. They're like, this was like the most engaged Tomlin's been in a while with the media. So maybe that's why he was annoyed, because he was having fun with them as well. But that comment meant a lot of people around the NFL were like are more or less agreeing with Mike Tomlin. And like, this was a stupid move if you're the Browns.
All right. And then finally, Mike, one other note that I did have here, Joe Hayden. Of course, we love Joe Hayden. The DB that was here was a former Brown. He was talking about the Cleveland receivers flailing their alligator arms, Mike, because they were afraid of getting hit by the Steelers secondary. I think this is a trend that goes through the season. Nobody wants to get stuck by these safeties, Mike, and our corners for that matter. I think you're going to see more of what you've seen last week against Cleveland in this season. In the playoff teams like Miami, this team has nothing to play for by the time they come here to play. why are you going to want to take hits by this defense,
Exactly.
Mike? I think this plays a big part, and I think this also works on the whole confidence train, getting us going into January football.
Yeah, and I think this is something you and I talked either off air or on the show during maybe right before the season was getting around, of the guys that they brought in are hitters. And you play physical ball, that's going to wear on teams throughout the season. And by the time they get to you, by the time the second quarter's over, they're not going to want to play the second half. And we saw that against Cleveland. You start licking these guys, you don't want to go across the middle anymore. You want to catch those nice little quick out routes so you can get out of bounds.
Especially if you're on a team, Mike, and you have really nothing going on. You're not going to want to take them hits in December if you're Miami.
Fuck no, hell no. And then guess what? You start laying the lumber across the middle of the field. Where has been our biggest weakness for 45 fucking years? Exactly. The middle of the field.
Phil says, put me in the list, just like I'm in the FBI list, Vanilla.
Yeah, but my list is the cool list. I still like you if you're on the list.
It's arguable. Tyrone says, how many throwing yards A-Rod having and DK receiving? This week, against that defense, it should be very good. It should, in theory, should be good, guys. Come on. Against Cleveland is a defense that, is a little bit better. They're strong, and they're going to win games. They're going to win a couple, like they beat Green Bay. So, again, we were able to put some numbers up against them. I think, Mike, the numbers should naturally be better against Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm going to go around like the 275, 280 for for Aaron, and DK probably around like a buck something. Sounds about right.
Mark Malone says, it was Rudolph. I was hoping it was a 13-4 record. Tylenol Jones. Vegas is 288 yards passing with DK getting 107 of those in a touchdown. Following that up with saying they heard those pads cracking early in the game. Mm-hmm. Who was it? Who's the guy that it looked like it was James Harrison hit from the back in the day on Cribs, or who was the guy?
Oh, God, that was Patrick Queen come flying in lane.
No, but who got hit? Who was the guy for Cincinnati?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
It looked like he died. It
was one of the old receivers.
You remember the old cartoons where, like, when the person died, like their ghost would come up out of their body? I swear I seen that guy's ghost floating around above his body. Like that Vegas. Tyrone says also, Cody says you have to choose, get hit by Ramsey, get hit by Elliott. Which one are you taking? Even getting hit by Thornhill or Queen.
Right. And Pepper's in there as well. You're going to be rocking people.
Yeah.
I haven't even mentioned the linebackers.
Right.
They're going to crack you too.
He said Steve Jobs died of it, and he had all the money in the world. Something like 10% 5-year survival rate. No transplant technology yet. Ooh. Tyrone said the whole defense. Correct shit. Peppers. All right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website? We do got to get into the trivia of the day as we are rounding third base. Mike, we can't waste any more time. Over to you. Tell everybody about the website.
The2dumbYinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. We got the merch store over there. We got all of our social media links. We got Vanilla Thunder's Dumb Thoughts. Check it out at the2dumbYinzers.com.
Vegas says Queen ran all the way only to actually missed the tackle. He did blow the play up, though. Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumbYinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbYinzers.com. Tortilla said wide receivers, when they play us, listen to the Chicken Head by Project Pat before games. Cody says Queen was going to rip the ball out. You know what? I love the way they're ripping at the ball and punching at the ball, too, this year. They're going to make some good stuff happen, guys. I know it. Let's get into the trivia, Mike, and everybody on the board. Guys, how well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? Today is a Bengal question. It's a short week, Mike, so just four days of Bengals questions this week, leading into the Thursday night football game. Here we go, guys. Question of the day. Put your hats on. Put your thinking caps on. Here it is. We always talk about the big three on an offense: the quarterback, the running back, and the wide receiver. Mike, the Cincinnati Bengals all-time big three. Who's their leading passer, their leading rusher, and their leading receiver of the Cincinnati Bengals? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
The Tube.
The Tube. So I'm looking for the big three. I'm looking for the all-time passing leader, all-time running leader, and all-time receiver in Cincinnati history. I hear clicking going on over there. I hear Mike pecking away on things, and I see his eyes moving. And you already hit the. I already heard the click. Now you're looking at the answer.
I was doing a little research on what P just put up there. So.
Wait, why are you always doing research on other things when you're supposed to be thinking about the trivia question? I just don't. See, now you already have the answer in front of you. I can't. I have to change.
I don't have the answer in front of me. Do you want me to here? I'll share my screen. I'll show up all my tabs.
Cody's saying Bill Cosby. Tortilla's saying Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, and AB. Still took a shot at it. He said Boomer Esiason, Ickey Woods, and Chad Johnson. P. Morton is saying Bernie Kosar, Corey Dillon, and Ocho Cinco. Thank you, Jamal. We appreciate that,
Jamal.
Brother, as
Appreciate
always.
It.
Vegas is saying Ken Anderson, Ocho, and Ickey. Woods just because he went to UNLV. Richard is saying Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, Boomer Esiason. Chad Ocho Cinco, Boomer Esiason, and Ickey Woods. Mike, do you have any guesses on who you think might be the all-time passing leader, running leader, and receiving leader for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Ken Anderson's a really good guess, but I'm going to go with Carson Palmer.
Okay.
Corey Dillon at running back.
Okay.
Now, for wide receiver, we got Chad Johnson is a good one.
Listen, if I wouldn't have stopped you from clicking, you know the answer already.
And but we forget, man, Chris Collinsworth was a pretty decent receiver back in the day.
Chris Collinsworth better than okay. And then now you're
trying to cover we're going by
covering your tracks.
No,
now
we're going by yardage. We're going by yardage
because you know the answer.
Well, yeah, it's Palmer, Johnson, Dillon. It's the only three that makes sense.
Okay, is that your final answer?
My final answer.
And I think you still, because you answered it wrong, and I think you did that on purpose to try to throw me off, and I'm not falling for it. But here is the answer, guys. Kozar, he says I'm an idiot. No, you're good, man. He also says Corey says I want to say Carson Palmer at quarterback, Chad Johnson, Corey Dillon because he's really the only running back I remember them having. Mark Malone, he says I feel like there has to be another back aside from Ickey Woods. Choco Stinko got to be the wide receiver. Let me see if come down here a little bit. Okay, so there you go, guys. Guys, the correct answer is who is the big three all time for the Cincinnati Bengals. Mike has Carson Palmer. He has Ickey Woods and Chris Collinsworth. Is that right, Mike?
No, I said Ocho Cinco.
All right, I'm just messing with you because I know that you're cheating. So now I have to.
I'm not cheating.
All right. The clicking every time there's a question, the clicking, and then you always have this crazy ass answer. Well, I'm looking for what
there hasn't been a click in months.
I heard a click, and if I could hear a click, it could only be you. It's obviously nobody on the board. So here we go, guys. The correct answer is this: the big three for the Cincinnati Bengals all time, of course, is Ken Anderson, the all-time quarterback, leader at quarterback, Corey Dillon, the all-time running back, and Chad Johnson, the all-time leader at wide receiver. And that is the answer. The question for the day about the Cincinnati Bengals big three.
Ken Anderson, a very underrated quarterback. Very, very, very.
Yeah, it is Ken.
Oh, Ryan's
Kenny
really,
Anderson.
really glitchy.
All right. I'm seeing that. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right, let's get a lot of messages coming through, Mike, here at the end. I do want to say this. The Pittsburgh Penguins are back in action tonight as they are in California. They are out playing the Anaheim Ducks, Mike, tonight at 10:30. If you want to watch our Penguins, I'm going to go right here. Cody says this. I don't want to leave anything out. Cody says, I always hear Palmer talk about Troy breaking his leg. Troy went up to him after the game and asked how his family was. I thought it was Kimo von Ohofen that rolled on his leg. But nonetheless, I believe the story. Right here, Tortilla says Joe Burrow is probably already their passing leader. He's going to be. If he can stay healthy, Shit, who knows if the guy can even stay healthy at this point.
Right?
Vegas says, I want to see PFF rate Chris Collinsworth games from back in the day. He'll probably be rated higher than Jerry Rice. I think you're right. Vegas follows that up by saying, if you're not cheating, you're not winning. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Eddie Guerrero. Mike, you actually use that as well. I've heard you say
hell
that.
Yeah, baby. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, baby. Lie, cheat, steal, win.
Must have been the wind. Kenny, Steeler fan. What's up, Mr. Steeler fan? Great seeing you back on the board. Always great seeing you. He says, I hate these Thursday night games. So does Tomlin, apparently. P says 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Right?
Mark Malone says, holy shit, I thought Esiason was the passing leader. You know what? If I didn't know any better, I wouldn't pick Ken Anderson. I'd pick some of these other names that you guys are picking. That's, again, that's.
I always forget about Kenny Anderson, man. Quarterback in the 70s. He's a beast.
Tyrone says, okay. Still F the Bengals. Bengals going down Thursday. Tortilla says Vanilla wasn't cheating. That was his toenails wiggle.
My toenails are nice and trimmed. You're on the list,
hell.
Tortilla.
Oh, boy. Let's see.
Toenails wiggling.
Corey says, my phone is dying, so before I head out, I post my YouTube channel and Discord. New video drops today at 1. Find me at Corey AB. Check him out, guys. I did. He has his new stuff coming up on also on X, and you can follow him on there. And I do believe Corey said he's going to be putting stuff up on Facebook as the week goes on here. So do check out Corey's show. It's called Don't Drink That, with an exclamation point at the end. Good stuff. It's a conspiracy theory podcast. Go check it out. Corey's doing some good work. I think he's on episode 3, ultimately. Vegas says, I remember seeing Dylan at 40-1 to win the Heisman if he went back to Washington, but he went pro. You know what? A lot of people wouldn't have remembered Corey Dillon, Mike. We remember him, of course, being from our division, but when he went to New England, it seemed like that's when he really started getting recognized. But it was so much more. It was his career in Cincinnati that really made Corey Dillon, Mike. And again, yes, he went to New England to win Super Bowls just like other players did, just like Randy Moss attempted to do, just like Darrelle Revis, just like a lot of players. And you know what? Corey Dillon, again, a great career in Cincinnati before even going.
Yeah, I always liked him. I always liked him, man. He was a really good running back. AOC North style running back.
He's a beast, man. Tyrone says Ramsey can have a pick 6 this game. I hope you're right. I think we get the interceptions this week. We dropped too many last week. I think they're going to be pissed at themselves and they're going to get it done. Vegas says it seems like Ken was their quarterback my entire childhood. My Mr. Steeler fan says I really think there's a good chance A.J. Brown ends up here. You know what, Mr. Steeler fan? That would be fantastic. Again, 3 weeks from today, the trade deadline at 4 o'clock. So 3 weeks and 1 hour and 51 minutes, guys. We will certainly know if the Steelers are going to get a wide receiver too. Mike seems to think that it's going to happen a little sooner than that. Again, we don't know. The names are circulating. The rumors are circulating. Maybe that's why John hasn't been around. Mike, it's the rumors during the offseason that kind of kept him a little bit on edge. That's what we're getting right now from this receiver talk. Is it going to be Olave? Is it going to be Jacoby Myers? Is it going to be Waddle? Is it going to be Rashid Shaheed? Who knows what it's going to be? Again, only 3 weeks. 3 weeks from today is going to be the trade deadline, and I hope we do. I tell you what, if we can land AJ Brown, talent-wise, Mike, it's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping him where he needs to be up here, that's a whole different story. But again, we do have good leaders, and it's not just going to come down to hoping the coaches take care of situations. We have real leaders in the locker room now, Mike, that I think we might be able to weather that storm. Again, risk management.
Yep, exactly.
Is the risk, the reward worth the risk ultimately? Mark Malone says, I thought about Anderson, but just didn't think he threw for that many. Think he threw for that many. I do want to say what's up to Kenneth on the board. Always great seeing our friend Kenneth. He says, we look like a complete team. I agree. This is the most complete this team has looked in quite a few years. And again, we're right in it. We are the number 2 seed. Barely. If we win Thursday, we'll have the same record as the Colts. And again, depending on which way the tiebreaker goes, we both have 1 loss in the NFC. So whatever the next tiebreaker would be will determine if we're going to be 1-2, number 1 or number 2 come the end of this week, Mike. But I couldn't agree with you more, Kenneth. Good things are happening. And again, let's focus on Cincy. Let's get the win and let's be 5-1. and have a nice little extra few days off to get ready for the big game against Green Bay Sunday night of the following week. Mike, I do want to get ready to wrap things up for the day. I do want to say great job to you as always. And I do want to say also, guys, if you haven't had a chance, go check out our social media anywhere that we are. We are on Facebook. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok, guys. Just swing by, hit the follow button, and keep up with what the Two Dumb Yinzers are doing on a day-to-day basis. Also, Mike, if you haven't had a chance, the viewers can always swing down right below and hit the like button, hit the sub, share, and even throw in a comment. It will help us out. We appreciate it greatly. Mike, last but certainly not least, I do want to say that when you're getting ready for the big game on Thursday night, don't hesitate to stop by and get yourself a case of Duquesne Pilsner. The guys at Duquesne Pilsner, they've been doing great things and adding us to every kind of promotion they put out there, and we want to thank them, and we ask that you do the same. Sometimes if you just hit a like button if you see them, or like I said, stop by and grab a case, a six-pack, and enjoy it for the game, because I know that we sure do, Mike. Every time the Steelers are on the television here at the studio, we do have Duquesne Pilsner. Mike, we're cracking them open right here, made in Pittsburgh, and as it says right on the can, it says grab a Duke. So guys, enjoy yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. Mike, anything before we start getting ready to wrap things up for today?
Yeah, I just saw this pop up on Twitter. Just a funny little behind-the-scenes look of the Steelers. This from Darius Slay talking about how the DBs tried to figure out who's going to cover who. He's like, I'm the most laid-back one out of all of them. Joey and Jalen are the ones arguing about who's going to get who. I'm like, whoever y'all want, y'all get. I'll get the leftovers. I like that mentality. With the two, big dogs argue who get, and then the old wily vet go, all right, I guess I cover who's left. Like I like that, and I think that's a nice competition between Joey and Jalen too. Because they both want to be that guy, and they're going to get it this week because 1A and 1B down there in Cincinnati. No matter who you put up against, you're going to go up against a legit number one receiver. So Porter and Jalen going to be drooling like dogs on a bone right now.
And you know what? I'm looking at something that got me drooling here. Tyrone did bring it to my attention because Indianapolis does play the Chargers this week. So if we win this game on Thursday, we'll be 5-1. Indianapolis is 5-1 as we speak. But they do play the Chargers, which is a game, Mike, it could be a tough game. So if the Chargers would end up winning that game, we would leapfrog them regardless of what the tiebreaker is through the weekend, and we would take the number 1 seed. Again, guys, the Steelers are sitting at the number 2 seed, and if this playoff started today, because of the leapfrog that happened yesterday with the Buffalo loss, New England moved up, scooted stuff around. We had New England yesterday. If the playoff started today, we would be hosting the Denver Broncos. So that's how things look right now. And around the division also, or around the conference, Indianapolis would have the bye. The Chargers would be playing Jacksonville, and New England would be playing Buffalo in the first round at New England if the playoffs started today. So interesting, Mike. Just interesting things happening. Again, this is an interesting year. Let's see if it plays out that way. And if it does, I think that's a good chance for teams like the Steelers.
Yeah.
Come January.
Hell yeah, man. This whole year, it kind of feels like when Ohio State won their national championship last year. Like I said, Ohio State's going to back them way into a national championship. I think I'd said around like week 5, week 6, and it happened. That could happen to the Steelers. We can just back our way into a Super Bowl victory. Let everyone else shit the bed around us, and we just play Steeler football, and next thing you know, we're holding the Lombardi. Yeah,
I'll go with it. Let's see. Cody says, in the 70s, my dad was a kid. Vegas says, so was I. Tyrone, it's all Two Dumb Yinzers. If you go to Facebook, just type in Two Dumb Yinzers, it'll take you right to it. And then even on Instagram, it should just be straight under Two Dumb Yinzers. Tyrone says, yeah, Ramsey and JPJ want to guard Chase. Cody says, the fuck you, 58 years old. Vegas says 52. Two guys going at it there. Mark Malone says leftovers are okay, so as long as they're not leftover lot lizards.
Exactly. You want to get there early. Buffet early.
Cody says old people watch YouTube. Cough. Jamal P says the Chargers were gifted a win versus my. Yeah, you're right, and that's the thing. I mean, nobody's great, But again, I think the Chargers have a good enough team to win some football games this year, guys. And again, they're in a very tight battle in that conference. So they're going to want to win just as much as the other guys are in that conference. Also, Tyrone says he gonna be on your ass later. And finally, Tortilla says breaking news: Steelers signed Vegas TJG to a 1-year, $36 contract. Vegas says I could run out and grab the tea. Is about all I can do these days.
Well, Vegas can hang
Guys,
out with Cam on veteran rest day. Sit there and
veteran
chill.
rest day.
Yeah.
But I do want to say thank you, guys. You guys were amazing as always. You truly, honestly were. Thank you to everybody for coming in to hang out with us. I got to say, we truly appreciate each and every one of you. We really, really do. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. We couldn't be doing this. So thank you so much. I do want to say thank you to everybody on the board as well, as you guys always keep things interesting here on the show, and everybody at home as well. With Jim, maybe at home just watching on your TV. Thank you too. Grab a couple more. Vegas is like, okay, Vegas got that. Phil says, cheers. I'm on the list. F it. Vegas, we could probably get a dog to do it faster. Cody says, got some old hip hop people up in here. Everybody, again, it's Steeler Nation, baby. We don't care how old, we don't care how we look. Everything is all about the black and the gold right here, baby. The big terrible board, always doing what they do, keeping it live on the show. Mike Vegas says, hell, people don't even want to. Hell, people don't even want to make it to their 50s, so don't hate too much, guys. Any way you slice it, we have 2 days from now. The Steelers do face the Bengals. We're 5.5 point favorites heading into this game. We're going to get ready to go 5-1 if we win. And again, Baltimore is off this week. So we'll be able to move up a half game on them, plus the half game we gained whenever we had the week off. So that's a whole game on them through bye weeks that we're going to be able to take from Baltimore and some other things. Again, maybe, just maybe, the Chargers could take down Indianapolis, and that could certainly help us. And your Pittsburgh Steelers being more than a third of the way through the season would be in the number 1 seed. So, hey, we're here for it, guys. I know you on the board is here for it. I know everybody at home, you're there for it as well, and it's going to be a blast. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. We'll be scooping and scraping every bit of Steeler information we could find in between now and then for you to talk about tomorrow. Also, Mike, again, don't forget the Penguins back at it tonight out in Anaheim. That is a 10:30 start against the Ducks. Penguins 2-1. Mike, they're looking to go 3-1. Penguins, Steelers, both 1 loss. Pirates done. It doesn't get any better than in Pittsburgh right now as far as sports goes. Mike, anything before we wrap it up for the day?
I got nothing, man. This was a fun show. Go Steelers, man. 2 more days, baby. 2 more days.
2 more days, and then we get some little extra time off, Mike, to get healthy, to get ready for Green Bay in a big game, which I think is going to be the Super Bowl pre-match, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, Super Bowl preview.
Super Bowl preview. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody on the board. You guys are awesome. We hope to see everybody back tomorrow at our regular time. I hope everybody has a great Tuesday. Between now and then, stay safe. Get ready. Don't forget, get out and get your Duquesne Pilsner. Get ready for the game Thursday. For Mike and Little Thunder over in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the 2 dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you guys back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
I won. Did I win or lose?